Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment to hit that like button because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media, share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we're going to have a very interesting show for you. Maybe you saw this coming. Maybe you didn't see it coming. Hey, we're going to find out in a minute. But a very, very interesting show coming. We are doing Sydney Sweeney gene theory, okay? Sydney Sweeney gene theory, y'all. Now, before we go into this, because we're gonna go and dig in real deep, I assume before we go into this, or you know what? Maybe this will be quick. Maybe this will be very quick, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Kind of depends on things. Maybe this could get done quickly. I ain't necessarily saying that's gonna happen, but okay. We'll see. We will see, as they say. But before I go into this, y'all, what I want to do is give props where props is due. There are people who helped me along the way, and all of them are very important to me because I appreciate every single one of them. I don't care who it is. I don't care how much they bring to the table, because I am talking about people who step up to financially contribute to the channel. Okay, because there's a bunch of them out there. Okay, we got some regulars and we got a bunch of non-regulars, but there's a bunch of them out there. And you know what? Either way, I still like it. It still helps at the end of the day. And I appreciate everyone. So as I've told y'all before, all money on the wood is good over here at the Roger Report Live. And that's just real talk. So let's give a shout out to, and it's funny how this particular one lands on this show. Y'all, we had a great show about a gentleman by the name of Luigi one time. And we had someone in the comment section switch their name up to Luigi did nothing wrong. Now, I don't know if this is a regular. For sure, I have my theory, but something that was going on at that particular time, it could technically have been anyone. Okay, but shout out to Luigi did nothing wrong. He came through with a super chat at that time, y'all. This happened on another channel, but shout out to Luigi did nothing wrong. Great or small, I do appreciate it out. Now, my theory is that was a regular who changed their name on that particular episode. That's my theory. But I can't say that for sure. It could have just been some Luigi supporter out there. Could have been that. You never know. You never know. But whoever it was, shout out to Luigi did nothing wrong. You are the sponsor of today's stream. Okay, so shout out to you. Shout out to you. And let me give a couple shouts out to somebody, the first person in the comment section, because you know what, y'all, when you start a show off, it's always great to see somebody get in there representing. And y'all, the first one today, my main man, y'all, he comes through. He represents heavy on a regular basis. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this brother, y'all. Shout out to hashtag long live habitual line steppers, hashtag long live Negroes in the wilderness, hashtag dignity over vagina, hashtag Al Gore's baby, hashtag hell Hydra. Shout out to my main man, Trail Billy is in the building, y'all. Shout out to Trail Billy in the building. He is the Highlander of today's stream, y'all. And if you ain't been Highlander of the stream, what are you talking about? What are you waiting on? What's the problem, man? This is something you're supposed to get multiple times. Why haven't you been Highlander of a stream? You got to ask yourself that question, man. You got to ask yourself that question. And if you ain't been around, I know that don't make sense to you, but if you have been around, it makes a whole lot of sense. But if you stay around, it's going to make sense to you too. So what's up with your Highlander of today's stream? You're supposed to be getting that on a regular basis, y'all, on a regular basis. So shout out to my main man, Trail Bentley, one more again. And let me get the others in. So shout out to Gold P. What's going on, my brother? I see you. Appreciate you being here. Dolomite is in the building. What's happening, Dolomite? Always great to see you. Sarah B is in the house. Great to see you. Hey, Sarah. Okay, great to see you. Y'all, and my main man who has a team to keep us in order, y'all. To keep us in order. Because even I done got out of pocket here and there a little bit. He done let me slide. So shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you do. Shout out to the Pit Master, y'all. Head of the pit crew. My main man, Chef Mike's Roundtable. We got Floyd Thompson in the building. Yay, yay. Shout out to all my hosts demonetized. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you. That's real talk. And I'm going to read this one real quick, y'all. He says, the Roger Report Live, you never gonna run out of content. Doubt that one, brother. I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna take. I received that, brother. I'm gonna take that one. Yeah, me running out of content. I don't know about that one. I don't know about. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Okay, we got Maggie Thompson under the veil in the building. Great to see you, Maggie. Great to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcast is here. What's happening? Grab Second Gear Eddie is in the house. Great to see you. Afro Merchant is checking in. Great to have you here, brother. Great to have you here. Shout out to Patrick Saint. What's going on? Great to see you as well. We also have Irvin Reed in the house. He give me grief, y'all, but he a great supporter. He give me grief. But he's a great supporter. Shout out to Irvin Reed. Real talk, real talk. It is good to see you. It is good to see you. We're going to get into this one, y'all. We're going to deal with this, y'all. Sydney Sweeney, gene theory. Now, y'all, I don't know if y'all know. Maybe you're aware. as I have been made aware. Okay. Shout out to Chris W. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Maybe you are aware, but there is a woman that goes by the name of Sydney Sweeney. Okay. She goes by the name of Sydney Sweeney, right? She out here trying to get her money on. Okay. She out here trying to get her money on. And as far as I could tell, she doing a pretty good job. She's doing a pretty good job of getting her money on. Now, Sydney Sweeney possibly could be a big time person, like a big time actress. I don't even know that to be the case. Okay. I don't. I see you, Irvin Reed. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I see you. Okay. Yeah, Sydney, is she out there trying to get it? I don't know that she's big. I think at this particular point, she may have just elevated her career. That's real talk, y'all. She may have just elevated her career. I don't know that she's big. What do I know about Sydney? Okay, what do I know about Sydney? Sydney was in a movie I reviewed once. Okay, she was in a movie I reviewed once. Can't think of the movie's title at this particular moment. But the movie was good. I can tell you that. The movie was good. Okay. It was a romantic comedy movie, but it was actually good. Not that I'm saying romantic comedies ain't good, but it was a pretty good movie. I remember that. It was a pretty good movie, pretty funny, pretty interesting, or whatever the case is. Y'all, because I review all types of movies. So I remember her being in the movie that she starred in, and it was good. That's what I remember her from. Has she done anything else? Maybe she has. I just haven't noticed her. That is just what it is at the end of the day. I ain't noticed her if she did something else. But hey, saying a person starred in a big movie is not a bad place to start from. Not a bad place to start from. So you know what? She done messed around and did a Gene commercial. Okay? She done did a few commercials. All right. Now, I don't know how a person would know it, but y'all, I watched some reporting on the situation. The claim is they gave Sydney a smooth $1 million to do these Gene ads. Okay. They gave Sydney a smooth $1 million to do these Gene ads. It was a company by the name of American Eagle who makes jeans. Okay. I'm sure they make other stuff, but they definitely make jeans because this was a commercial about jeans, y'all. Now, of course, I'll put some links in the description, so you should have been able to see the commercial that kind of sparked off the controversy. There's a few variations of commercials for the jeans, y'all. But the one that sparked the controversy was that main one, the one that I took this picture from. And Sydney saying she has great jeans. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I like to keep it real, okay? Now, I don't know how y'all take is. All I know about Sydney Sweeney is that she starred in some movie that I like. Okay? This is not like the young lady we was talking about yesterday who came up in a Shannon Sharp situation. And her claim to fame was she was 19 but had to open up OnlyFans. This is very different, y'all. This is very different. Okay? Both of them white women, but this is a very different white woman. This white woman, I remember her for starring in a film. I cannot think of the name of that film right off the top of my head right now. But when I think about Sydney Sweeney, I was like, oh, that's that lady who starred in that movie I like. Very different than she's just some chick from OnlyFans, okay? Now, she did the Gene commercial. The line that truly caused the controversy was, I have good genes, or I have great genes, okay? And some folks started tripping, y'all. Some people started tripping. But now, let's be realistic. Just for a moment, y'all. If Sydney didn't have great genes, would she be in the position she is now? Okay? Because what do I remember about Sydney? Yeah, she's in this movie. She starred in this movie I like. The movie was funny. Okay, it was a romantic comedy movie. I think the guy his name might be Glenn Powell. I think something like that, you know. But it was funny, cool, pleasant memory. Was she easy to remember? Absolutely. Why was she so easy to remember? Because Sydney looked good. Okay? Sydney looked good. Okay? Now, the body part that stood out to me was more of her top. You know, she got a great set on her. You know, and I'm not saying that to be rude or crass. I'm just saying that's what really stuck out to me. Was, you know, she had a nice top. Okay, she had a nice, well, she still got it, so she has a nice top. That's what stood out to me. And she had a beautiful face. She came across great in the movie, but that's a character. Okay, that's a character. It's cool. Now she does this jean ad, and does she look good in the jeans? I gotta say, yes, she does look good in the jeans. But she looked good in everything I seen her in. I ain't seen her in any outfit where she didn't look good. Okay, I ain't seen no outfit where she didn't look good. It is what it is. Okay, I ain't seen her in no outfit where she didn't look good. Everything I seen her in, she looked good. Now, of course, as I do a little bit of research here and there, you know, pictures gonna pop up, little videos pop up. I see her. I ain't seen her look bad in anything. Okay, I ain't seen her look bad in anything. Did the quote unquote American jeans help? All I'm gonna say is they didn't hurt. Okay, that's all I can say. They didn't hurt. All right, because, you know, now am I impressed with how she's built in the back? I'll take it. I'll just say that. I'll take it. She wasn't standout enough, but you know, I'll take it. The rest of her, you know, makes up for what she lacking back there. But this jean ad really did something to some people, y'all. Now, why did the jean ad do something to people? Now, I'm gonna tell you what my theory is. Okay, and there's people who disagree, and I totally get it. And there's a lot of people who don't want to use their best when they have a chance to use their best. Sydney looked good. Men see her, they want to have sex with her. Real talk. Okay? There's men who gonna look at her and they're gonna say, she looks like a wife. Okay? I would love to marry somebody who looked that good. All right? I would. All right? Men would look at a person who looks like this and say, man, I want to have kids with her. She fine. She's attractive. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Depending upon how they see her, you know, men want to have children with someone who looks like that. Okay? Especially white men. Because she is white. Let's just keep that real. Now, it's some folks out there that say, hey, this not cool. This commercial has an undertone of pushing eugenics. Because Sydney is blonde and blue-eyed. She's saying something that's known for being a white supremacist idea. She's going at race in a certain way. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. Sydney Sweeney doesn't, you know, I'm sure she's heard about the controversy. I don't see how she wouldn't have. To my knowledge, at this point, she hasn't said anything about it. Okay. Is she doing the right thing? Probably. She didn't say a squat. Okay. Now, this is the thing. She don't need to say squat and she don't need to care. According to sources, they paid her $1 million and she already got $1 million. She good. Okay. Her name is being made big right now. As Shark Sins has said a few times in the last couple of weeks, you know, any advertisement is good advertisement. You know, I'm sure y'all have heard that before. So she's being advertised right now. Okay. Somebody is trying to figure out what movie role to put her in just because of all this controversy. Okay. Just because of all this controversy. Now, as far as I know, Sydney White. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. As far as I know, Sydney White. Now, everybody who comes here regularly, y'all know I run a black-centric channel. But Sydney White, now I don't know who she dating. Maybe she is dating a brother. Okay. But if you watch patterns, a lot of white people don't make it to my show unless they are somehow involved with black people. I don't know that Sydney is involved with a black person. Okay. I have no idea who she with. Okay. I don't really care. She ain't with me. So it is what it is. Okay. And she's in the movies right now. You know, regular everyday dude probably couldn't get her like that. Is what it is. But she is a good looking woman. Now, why did this controversy go so big that it made it to me, who don't be looking at white people like this? Well, I say this controversy pretty big, y'all. It's pretty big. Heck, it even went presidential. Because if you watch the clips, y'all saw President Trump making a statement, y'all. Y'all know what Trump saying? Paraphrasing, of course. He said, if Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, if she's a registered Republican, then I think her ad is fantastic. You see how you put the qualifier out there? If she's a registered Republican, if Sydney is doing something good that will help Republicans, then I think her ad is great. Now, what does that mean, y'all? That means he's leaving room, so if she's hurting Republicans, he don't like her ad. That's what that means. Give me a little something, I'll give you a little something. I will give you a presidential endorsement under the conditions that she is a registered Republican. That means that white man, he wants something for his endorsement. Did y'all peep that? Did y'all peep that? The white man wanted something for his endorsement. He don't care that she a movie star. Which I don't know if she's a movie star for real. Like I said, I remember her starring in one movie. She may not be a quote unquote movie star yet. She's clearly on her way because she done starred in one movie that was good that I know about. That's just what I'm aware of. Now she might have 14 films under her belt. I don't know nothing about the other 13. That's just real talk, y'all. I don't come up here and fake the funk. Okay. I don't come up here and fake the funk. I just don't know. Okay. But I'm sure she's pretty enough to get some more roles. Okay. I'm sure she's pretty enough to get some more roles. All right. Now, folks is turning into this white supremacist message is in here, and people are going at Sydney. Then you got people defending Sydney. Okay. I saw a whole lot of stuff, y'all, under a whole lot of perspectives. You have folks battling it out to defend Sydney Sweeney, and you have folks that was trying to throw her under the bus. Now, what I will say is, I did see a few black people who made some comments. Now, the few black people that I saw who were making comments about them, I just skipped right past their stuff. I didn't listen to nothing they had to say. They were people I really don't like anyway. You know what I'm saying? They people who don't have my approval. I've been to their channels before. There are people I come to a person's channel, maybe listen 5, 10, 15 minutes here or there. I don't rock with nothing they say. And I might come back 2, 3 more times. Pretty much after the third time. If I give you 5, 10, 15 minutes on 3 different occasions, 3 different streams, and I don't seem to like nothing you got to say, a lot of times I just won't come back. Real talk. I just won't come back. And then even if I see somebody else covering them, I just won't listen to that particular stream. Okay, if I see somebody who makes a video about that particular person, whether it's a content creator I know or a content creator I'd never heard of, I just get past that one. Just is what it is. I don't care about them folk like that. Okay? Just is what it is. So I really was watching a fight for white people about white people and being defended by white people. Okay. Shout out to Tony Miss. I appreciate this, my brother. I appreciate it. Tony Miss says, Roger, you are the only black person I watch talking about this. I watch mostly black people. Hey, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm great that I feel great that I have that honor. That's real talk. Okay. And y'all, I really don't cover white folks by themselves. But there's a reason I took this story on. Okay. There is a reason I took this story on. Now, again, y'all, Sydney ain't said nothing. She ain't went against this or against that. Whatever people is interpreting, you got people interpreting this white supremacy thing, and they saying that, you know, this is not a great ad. It shouldn't have been made. We shouldn't have it on the air. Now, I'm gonna say, if you truly believe that deep in your heart, I can rock with that. I'm cool with white people having an understanding we shouldn't be racist in public. Okay, that's something. Okay, if nothing else, that is something to say. Hey, we shouldn't be racist in public. You know, is that really a bad thing? Now, again, see, the thing is, you can look at it like this. Would you rather the racists who tell you he's racist, or do you want the racists who won't tell you they're racist? So either way, there's something good there, but there's something bad there. Okay. Now, do I believe Sydney Sweeney is racist? I have no reason to believe that. I don't really know nothing about Sydney Sweeney. Okay. Now, I know she looked good. They say a lot of corrupt stuff happens in Hollywood. So did she get tapped on the way up? Hey, I ain't gonna say she did. But I ain't gonna say she didn't. Okay? I ain't gonna say she did. But I ain't gonna say she did. Y'all, let me see this real quick, y'all. Shout out to Irvin Reed. Y'all, I told you he be doing stuff, y'all. You know, he be doing stuff. I think he be hanging with Gold P too much. You know what I'm saying? He just be doing stuff. Irvin Reed say, Roger, we all know if she wants and gets with a black mamba, Kobe, the code switch of acceptance will give you whiplash. Okay. Look. Shout out to you, Irvin Reed. I knew you was up to some mess. But this is the thing. She is a white woman. She up for grabs, as far as I know. She up for grabs, y'all. She's not a married woman. I don't know that she's in a relationship with any particular person. You know, even as I was talking, somebody made a comment that she recently broke up with somebody or something. So she up for grabs. That's, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, a brother meet her, he, you know what I'm saying? He could scoop her up. Okay, he could scoop her up. Is what it is. Okay. Now she come across me, I'ma say something. That's all I can tell you, y'all. She come across me, I'ma say something. I got to shoot my shot. Why? I understand she's a movie star and all that, probably very rich or something, or very close to getting very rich right now. But I got to shoot my shot just because it's available. Real talk. And she gonna get down with a brother program. It is what it is. Okay. Shout out to Gold P. He said, I hang with Urban Reed, sir. Get it together, Roger. Oh, I figured you two kick it. I figured you two kick it. But I'm just saying, y'all, she is an available woman as far as I know. So she's up for grabs for any community. She's not the white community. She's just a woman who participates in that community if that's what she does. She can participate in any community. And this is something brothers really need to get. Men are the communities. The women just participate in them. So Sydney can go either way. I can't be mad at her for any way she go. She's just a woman. I'm going to say she's an attractive woman. So would I take her? Absolutely. It is what it is. Not because she's a movie star. Not because I would assume she's rich. If she is rich. And I'm saying she may not be rich yet because I only remember her from one movie, so she may not be rich yet, but she's on the way, I'm sure. Okay. Well, no. Well, according to the sources, they said she got $1 million off this ad alone. So I I'm going to assume if that is true, she already got $1 million off the ad, and she's made some money for starring in at least that one movie I saw her in. And even if it's your first time starring in something, I'm assuming they're gonna hit you with at least a $500,000 or something. The movie industry does pay. Okay, the movie industry does pay, and so she got to be worth a little something. But regardless of all that, she's just an attractive woman. And I think this is what caused most of the controversy that's been going on behind this situation. The woman just looked good. Okay. Now, Shaka Noodles, shout out to him. He says, I can't believe everybody getting their panties in a bunch over this commercial. Well, I think that's part of the reason, Shaka Noodle. I think a lot of men want to see her in her panties. Real talk. Okay. You got to think about it, brother. This is a bunch of white folks. Okay. I'm not saying this is resonating with a lot of black people, y'all. It could be, but I'm not saying that it's really resonating with a bunch of black folks, but it's definitely resonating amongst them white folks. So I'm sure there's a bunch of y'all know white people do some weird stuff. Y'all know they do some weird stuff. So you got to think about it. You got a bunch of white guys, probably, sitting down in their bedrooms or whatever. Probably with their tidy whities on. Extremely excited about this commercial. I just say that. Y'all know white people do some weird stuff sometimes. I ain't trying to say nothing bad about you right here, white folks, but I'm just keeping it real. Y'all do some weird stuff sometimes. So I can see at least a million of y'all sitting down at your computer in your room with the tiny whities on. Letting your imagination flow. Look, I ain't mad at you. She attractive. I ain't mad at you, okay? I ain't mad at you. Do you? Y'all just do some weird stuff sometime, okay? I'm not even saying that would be weird if you're sitting there with your tiny whities on looking at Sydney Sweeney. I'm not even suggesting that's weird. I understand. She is an attractive woman. I get it, okay? I get it. Okay, it's all good, man. You ain't hurt nobody. Okay, you ain't hurt nobody, so it's cool. But why is this commercial a big deal? Because some people may see the eugenics angle and they may actually support it. So they may say, "Hey, y'all, it's cool. It's cool. Let it rock." Okay, let it rock. We have a eugenics angle in this. Let it rock. I want my eugenics. Okay. Now, there also can be some people who just happy they white. Now, I'm never going to be a person that sits here and say white people shouldn't be happy they white. Okay. I think whatever you are, you should take some level of, pride, be proud of who you are, love yourself. I don't think those rules should necessarily go away just because it's white people. Now, of course, I do think the collective of white people should, do something about their reputation. Okay. The collective of white people, I told y'all time and time again, I deal with every white person as an individual. Okay. I have to. Because white people as a group, I have no use for. Okay. What do I think of white people as a group? Well, as a group, they like to kill, steal, and destroy. That's just seem to be who they are as a group of people. So I got to deal with them on an individual basis. Because as a group, I don't even want to be around them as a group, Too many of them like to kill, steal, and destroy as far as I can tell. But on an individual basis, can I rock with a white person? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can. Okay. Now, you put 3 white men in the same room, I think they start conspiring. I think they're just so used to it. It's just something they do. Okay. So I can totally get, for a good reason or a bad reason, they're going to support this commercial. Okay. I don't know if it's quite supporting Sydney Sweeney, but they'll support her as long as she's supporting, as long as they can interpret that she's supporting eugenics. Okay. Now, this is my thing, y'all. I run a Black centric channel. So let's say a white person runs a white-centric channel. Would I be mad at them simply for running a white-centric channel? No. I run a black-centric channel, and I do it proudly. You know, there's going to be some white people who don't like the stuff that I say, talk about, whatever the case is, and they're going to have a problem with me. I don't care. I'm black. Why wouldn't I be happy about being black? Why wouldn't I be proud of my people? Why wouldn't I be proud of my accomplishments? It is what it is. So white people can do the same thing. This is America. There's nothing wrong with taking some level of pride in what you are. But y'all, I have a guest coming up. I got a guest coming up. I don't know who this is. Okay, this is their first time here. Looks like the name is SOS, the interpreter. I'm going to allow them to have the floor and speak freely. SOS, the interpreter, you have the floor. What would you like to say in this situation?
Good morning to you and your guest, brother.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
I want to put my 2 cents on this because the ability to read these subliminal messages were never taught to our people. And our people have no understanding of breaking down these messages for what they are. If you take the word Disney, D-I-S-N-E-Y, the N-E-Y that you see on this word here, Sydney Sweeney, there's clear message in these things. The N-E-Y, you also find it at the end of 2 words. Honey. Honey is the first medicine. It represents health. The next place you find it is money, and that represents wealth. There is an institution in this nation known as Disney. It basically means disease. It means Disney means unhealthy and unwealthy, because it is the duty of this institution to keep the majority of the public ignorant, stupid, and foolish. If you take this very word, Sydney Sweeney, that you see they put out with this female, the message is clear. They are advancing to a stage of the annihilation of almost 70% of Black people in the next 15 years. You look at the word Sydney, they spell it with S-Y-D. That is a throw-off. SID is sudden instant death. NEY, as I explained to you, it explains a state and condition just as you see in Disney or money or honey. They are preparing our destruction, and they're putting it right in front of you. You hear Trump even speak about a date that is coming up, which is August the 8th. The number 88 is
well, I'm gonna slow you down right there. Okay, because I normally give people a 2-minute opening.
Yes.
Now, this is the thing. Sydney, I don't know if Sydney Sweeney is her real name. A lot of actors use and actresses, they use stage names. So probably a stage name, but she's known by Sydney Sweeney. She's been known by Sydney Sweeney for a long time. So basically, if I'm interpreting you right, you are saying part of the reason she was picked for this commercial because she used the stage name Sydney Sweeney.
No,
that's part of the reason she was picked for this particular commercial, right?
No, brother. The thing about it is, they have been planning these things 40 and 50 years ahead.
Brother.
Yes.
When I do a show, I talk about a subject matter on the show. Whatever you want to talk about, you got to connect it to the subject matter.
Yes.
Now, you said something about Sydney Sweeney's name.
Yeah.
This is her. It could be her real name. I don't actually know because I never care. I'm just keeping it real. But I know it's at least her stage name that she uses with Hollywood. And the stage name can be a real name. But you mentioned Sydney, then you pointed out, what SID represents. So are you saying that part of the reason they picked her is because there's a Sid in her name? You believe that's part of the reason they picked her to
Okay.
do this particular ad?
All right. If you take the czar, Tom Homan is a play on the name of He-Man. Do you know who He-Man is?
I do know who He-Man is.
He-Man is the white blonde hair character from the cartoon that is everybody know it's white supremacy. Pam Bond, what? Listen, Pam Bondi. All these people that you see is in Trump's administration. The public cannot read, and I can tell you this, my brother. Wait. I'm
definitely not. I'm definitely not hearing a yes or no in anything you saying right now. Sound like you're rambling because you don't understand the question. Now that may not be the case, and I don't want to put that on you. But based on what you're saying, I'm not hearing a yes or no. I asked you because I get what you're saying, and that's why I said, do you think part of the reason they picked her is because her name is Sydney?
I just answered the question by also telling you that Tom Homan.
No. You telling me about Tom. I'm not hearing a yes or no about. Do you think part of the reason they picked her?
Yes, I just answered the question to you. That's why Tom Homan was also chosen.
Okay. No, I mean, I just wanted to make it clear. Okay, and I didn't want to put no words in your mouth. You think part of the reason she was picked because Sydney is has SID in her name because her name is Sydney Sweeney. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. Yes. Brother, cool. I'm not fighting you about it. I'm just trying to make it plain for the people. That's all. Just trying to make it plain for the people. Okay. Yeah. So you are on the side of they definitely Chef Mike, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I don't know what you're on right now, but shout out to you, okay? Okay, my bad, Chef. Okay, I just got a clarifying I just got a clarifying thing. You know what? SOS interpreter. I know it's your first time here. But there are certain people in the audience with the power to kick off any guest at any time. And unfortunately, when they take your soup, when they say no soup for you, that means you got to go. Now, unfortunately, based on how you came across, they didn't even give you the dignity of the soup. They just said you got to go. And because I put people in certain positions and I do not argue with their positions, I have to bid you adieu because they have now kicked you off, but they didn't even give you the dignity of having soup. So, hey, it is what it is. I gave them that power. I'm not going to fight against that power because I gave it to them. So, unfortunately, I had to kick you out of here. So, have a good rest of your day. I hope you listen in the future. Okay? And keep on listening today. All right? There we go, y'all. There we go. All right, y'all. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable, y'all. Look, y'all. I got to give you some credit, Chef. I got to give you some credit because I saw something in the. I saw something. It say no soup for the troll. I think that was extremely classy of you to not even give him the soup. Real talk. Ain't no soup for this dude, man. Ain't no soup for this dude. Hey, y'all. Look, I do not mind people having a different take on things. Real talk. I don't mind. I do not mind folks coming up. But when you sound like you just talking for the sake of talking and you just trying to spew something that ain't really got nothing to do with what we talking about. And I tried to give him the alley-oop, y'all. I tried to give him the alley-oop, man. Look, whatever you're talking about, make it relate to the topic. I tried to give him the alley-oop. But hey, sometimes you can help people. Sometimes you can't. All right? So this here, Sydney Sweeney, y'all. Beautiful white woman, okay? He does believe Then part of the reason she was picked for this commercial was because SID is in her name. Hey, you know what? Shout out. Shout out to my man Perfect, man. Sometimes all you can say is bless their heart, y'all. Sometimes that's all you can do. Just bless their heart, man. Real talk. Okay, bless their heart. All right? I think this is the time for us to say bless his heart, y'all. Okay. Bless his heart, okay? And shout out to Afro Merger who say Afro Merger say you gotta open your third eye, Roger. No, I don't think my third eye was enough. I think I would have to open 4, 5, and 6. I think 4, 5, and 6 have to be open too. Oh. I don't think a third one is enough, y'all. I don't think a third one is enough. Real talk. I think 4, 5, and 6 is necessary. Okay. But y'all, we got this ad that I'm just gonna say, truth be told, seems like it's geared to white people. Okay. I understand there are black people who want to be involved in everything. Because there's some people with some egos out there. Two of the main things I have liked to say over time is that y'all got to accept that life is not fair and get your ego in check, okay? I don't think this particular commercial had black folks in mind to watch, know, understand, or even care how they feel, okay? This commercial was for white folks. Because let's keep it real, y'all. We talking about a brand. The brand is American Eagle. All right. I've been aware of this brand for a good period of time. I've never noticed American Eagle being sold in the places where black people usually go to buy stuff. Because I've been to malls and things like that. I'm not gonna say it wasn't there, but I ain't never noticed them. Okay. Being in Chicago, y'all, there's certain malls here in Chicago. I've been to a few malls. Remember when we used to get up and go to malls on a regular basis, y'all? Some of y'all, just as old as I am, y'all used to get up and go to the mall to kick it. That was like the kicking spot. Y'all used to go to the mall and kick it. I don't remember American Eagle being at the mall. I ain't gonna say it wasn't there, but I sure didn't notice them. I didn't notice them. And if they were there and I didn't notice them, hey, I guess that's something with their advertising. Okay. I ain't never had a woman ask me for an American Eagle pair of jeans. Okay, cool. I mean, hey, whatever. Whatever. I guess American Eagle trying to solve that problem right now. So I think this ad was really for white people to buy some jeans. Whatever y'all take with it, I'm not gonna say there wasn't the quote unquote undertone for eugenics. I don't think that's what they were doing. I think it was white people trying to be proud of being white. And I don't have no problem with white people trying to be white. Okay. I just ain't got no problem with that. Okay. Shout out to Floyd Thomas. He said they were in the catalogs too, Roger. Well, maybe they sold a few pair to some black folks. I don't know, y'all. I ain't never looked at no girl's butt trying to figure out what brand of jeans she was wearing. I never cared. I never actually, I don't think I would ever care, truth be told. All right. I don't think I would ever care. Okay. If she look good in the jeans, she gonna look good in the jeans. But truth be told, if she don't look good in the jeans, she probably don't look good out the jeans. Just is what it is. Did Sydney Sweeney's behind do something for this jean commercial? I don't think it necessarily did. I am never gonna say she not built nice, but she didn't have nothing going on to me that she made me believe the jeans make her look like she ain't got nothing going on back there. She got enough of everything she needs. There's nowhere in the world I would turn down Sydney Sweeney. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. I ain't saying I would turn down Sydney Sweeney at all. Okay. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I didn't see nothing about them jeans that accentuated anything to make me want her even more or less. Not that she needs it, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, she got enough of what's missing to make up for what's missing. She got enough. It is what it is. The woman's just attractive. Okay? So if she got enough, she don't need them jeans. Truth be told, I prefer out them jeans. No, I'm just now I would prefer her out the jeans sometime. Okay. But you know, I thought it was a cool ad to a certain degree. Because I'm looking at how she presented herself in the jeans. So to a certain degree, the jeans did look good because the jeans actually cover a woman. It's not a woman just in a pair of some type of spandex pants or yoga pants or whatever. Like, I get tired of seeing women in that because I wouldn't want my woman just wearing that on a regular basis. I would prefer my woman in some jeans like this. Okay, well, like Sydney showed in the commercial, I would actually prefer my woman in some jeans sometimes. If you go and wear some pants, you ain't got to wear stretch pants all over the place, but a lot of sisters do that. So it is what it is. Okay. Now, hey, y'all pray for that brother. Okay, y'all don't just pray for SOS interpreter, y'all. I'm sure he meant well. I'm sure he meant well. Okay. Pray for him, y'all. Pray for him. So yeah, people are taking this as an undertone of a eugenics ad. Now, my thing is, white folks gonna support their own at some particular point in time, y'all. Okay, they're gonna support their own at some particular point in time. All right. I'm checking it right now. Shout out to Shaka Nulu, y'all. He's saying in the chat, did you get the Cash App? Okay, I'm checking the Cash App right now, y'all. Okay. And I do like to try to check the Cash Apps when the guests come up, y'all. But that particular guest was so, like, I'm trying to pay attention to what he's saying and get his connection. I didn't actually, I didn't look that time. I'm gonna tell you the truth, y'all. I didn't even look. I was trying to figure out what he's talking about. Okay, that's what I was doing. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about and how he was gonna connect it to the show. You know, I get he wanted to go on this long road about some stuff about between white folks and black folks, but you know, I was trying to pay attention. Okay, I was trying to pay attention that time. But shout out to Shaka Nulu, who did come in with the Cash App, y'all. He drops $10 on the books. Appreciate that, brother. He says for the eugenics, y'all, with Jean in eugenics capitalized. So shout out to you, Shaka Nulu. Appreciate you big time, brother. Appreciate you big time, y'all. Sometimes you hear stuff that you just don't expect, y'all. Okay. I could totally understand somebody taking that angle, but to say that Sydney, part of the reason Sydney was picked was because her name starts with S-I-D. Woo! Shout out to that brother. Y'all, bless his heart, y'all. Bless his heart. Just pray for him. That's all I'm going to say. Pray for him. Now, I'm going to just tell y'all this. I think Sydney was picked because she was a beautiful woman. Okay? She's an attractive woman. Ain't nobody trying to kick her out the bed. It's just what it is. Okay? Who trying to kick her out the bed? I don't see nobody at this particular time trying to kick out the bed for any legitimate reason. I mean, if you married to something, you ain't supposed to have it in your bed. But if any single man had it in the bed, who kicking her out? You know what I'm saying? I don't know who kicking her out. Yeah, I think the controversy started because guess what white people did, y'all? They took what they perceive as their best and they put her out front. That's what they did. They said, hey, let's use some of our best to represent us. Let's put some of our best in those jeans. Okay? Because we want to look good in front of white people, which automatically gonna make us look good in front of other people. That's what they thinking, y'all. White people actually have some pride in themselves. Okay? It's cool for white people to think highly of white people. All right? White people think highly of themselves. You know? Now, I'm not saying you can't find some white people with depression or something like that. I ain't saying you can't. They got issues just like everybody else, y'all. I know y'all, quote unquote, know this, but people act like they don't know this. I'm not saying where any individuals sit with this, but I'm just saying, y'all, white people got their own issues too. A lot of their issues be some of the same issues we got. Now we got a different set of issues that they ain't really got to deal with. But I ain't mad at no white person for being white. That's not the problem. You being white is not a problem. It's when you try to use white to do something against me that's where it turns into a problem. I told y'all plenty of time. I have a problem with white supremacists. Okay, I don't even care what color the white supremacist is. See, once we accept that that's just an ideology, okay, it's a system of white dependency. Shout out to Chef Mike for saying that. It's a system of white dependency that tries to give you an idea that somehow white people are dominant. Collectively, I don't think white people can do anything better than black people. I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all. The stuff that I see going on in life, I don't think a group of white people can do anything better than a group of black people, which is why white people do so much stuff to black men. Because they try to, that's how you slow down a person's group. You get the men messed up. All right. Did the ad spark a feeling in me that I felt that I was under attack? No, not at all. It didn't at all. Okay. Now, what do I like about the commercial? If you pay attention to some of the controversy going on in this particular situation, I'm going to say this, y'all. People saw the commercial. Some people didn't like the commercial. Some people liked the commercial. So what happened? People started to back up their people. Sydney was getting attacked by the quote unquote woke crowd, as they said, they call it right now, y'all. Because white folks know they done messed up the word woke. It ain't got nothing. But you can't expect them to use it as good as black folks. You just can't expect that. So in their version of woke, which they just kind of messed up, the woke crowd came after Sydney, y'all. The woke crowd came after Sydney. Okay? The woke crowd came after her. They had a lot to say about Sydney. They wanted to take her down. And they would even use black people. I'm not saying it's got to be black, because you can talk about eugenics and not mean black folks at all. Okay? They started slapping her with the eugenics word, slapping the campaign with the eugenics word to take it down. Now, my thing is, that's white people being passionate about their thing. Okay? I ain't mad at them. They being passionate about their thing. Now, what did white people get right? No, we gonna protect her. We're gonna protect the campaign. We gonna protect the ad. Now, I'm gonna say this is where there is some difference between black folks and white folks as far as what we see. Okay, that we have to do something about. Because how we present ourselves is how we present ourselves. See, the woke crowd came after Sydney. They came after American Eagle. They wanted to, quote unquote, curb the campaign some kind of way. Now, this is where it's different for black folks, and a lot of us need to get this. See, Sydney is this attractive white woman who was supposedly paid $1 million to help sell some jeans. All right. They say since the commercial came out, some of these jeans done flew off the shelf. They said the stock went up in the company. They said there was a bunch of positive stuff happening after this commercial has been released. They said a bunch of positive stuff happened. So if they did pay Sydney $1 million, it looked like that was a great purchase on the part of American Eagle. But y'all white people wanted to defend her whiteness. White people want to defend her position regardless of what she believes in. That's white people doing something right. I'm going to keep it real, y'all. That is white people doing something right. That's white people loving themselves. Regardless of Sydney Sweeney, who's made no actual comment about this yet. Okay? She's made no comment about this yet that I know of. People started attacking the ad. People started attacking her personally. White people showed up to fight. Now, not necessarily a physical fight, but they showed up to fight. Because white people understand they want to have a good image. So, in some people's mind, they took this very attractive, this beautiful white woman with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, okay, which they focused on. People focused on that blonde hair and that blue eye. And then folks say, you ain't going to just sit here and attack our beautiful white woman with the blonde hair and blue eyes. It ain't nothing going to be said about it. No, that ain't what they did, y'all. That's not what they did. They said, no, we going to protect this beautiful blonde woman with the blue eyes. We're going to protect her. Okay? She good people as far as we concerned because she got blonde hair and blue eyes. She ain't said nothing disrespectful. Y'all just interpreting stuff too bad. This is interpreting stuff wrong. Now, this is what's going to really be different about how things go with black people versus white people, y'all. The company stood behind the person. Okay? The company stood behind the person. American Eagle came out and said, hey, man, it's about the jeans, man. Okay, I don't know about all that stuff y'all talking about, but this about some jeans. Get off Sydney's back, man. This about the jeans, man. Matter of fact, we saying our jeans gonna help you look good. That's what we said. Let's keep it to the jeans. Now, that don't really happen for black folks like that. Okay, major companies don't come out to black folks' rescue that I can remember. I'll say that. I don't remember any major company coming out to rescue no black man for anything. If there was some controversy going on, you figure that out and we'll see how it turns out. Hashtag Shannon Sharp. Hashtag Jonathan Majors. Okay? And, the list goes on and on. Hashtag Mike Tyson. Hashtag Bill Cosby. Let's go on and on and on. And black folks, y'all have to understand. Maybe you could say we playing the same game, but with a different set of rules. Or you're going to have to accept that we're not playing the same game at all. It is different for us. Okay? This different for us. Because if you are involved with some major company and some dust get kicked up, are they going to rescue the black guy? And I've said white folks will tolerate black women, but would they even rescue a black woman? They tolerate her. She succumbs and submits to rules of white supremacy, but would they even come rescue her if the ad was taken poorly and there was a black woman in the ad? No, they're not finna. They're gonna apologize, change up something, and move on. That's what they're gonna do, more than likely. Okay. But no, they came out to defend. They said, no, man, this is about the jeans, man. Not the jeans you talking about. We talking about the jeans we selling. The jeans you talking about, we ain't got nothing to do with all that. We selling jeans. And we trying to sell more. That's what we own. Okay? That's what we own. We trying to sell these jeans up in here. I don't know what you talking about. We trying to sell jeans. That's the stance they took. Now, my thing is this, y'all. Some of us, we do get mad at white people about certain stuff. And we do, we pay attention to some stuff and don't pay attention to other stuff. Now, I'm saying, y'all, we as black people should love to learn ourselves. Learn to love ourselves the way white people love themselves. And I'm not really saying we need to do something that white people doing, because truth be told, as black folks, we do everything better than them. I'm just keeping it real. We just, every time they really do something and we do the same thing, we seem to dominate. So we pretty much seem to do everything better than that we want to do. So what would happen if black folks say, well, hey, let's just love ourselves? Because see, there's a woke crowd out there and they are coming at her and they're coming at this ad campaign because they don't want their racism put out on Front Street. I'm not saying even the quote unquote woke crowd don't have racism in them. I'm not judging them by individuals. I'm just looking at it as a big group of white people. And what I see them saying is, don't put our racism out in the street like that. Don't put us in public. We supposed to represent people who ain't racist. Don't do us like that. Now, and when you think of it in a certain context, they're trying to protect their whiteness because they love their whiteness. The folks who are actually against them, they seem to love their whiteness too. Because they like, nah, we over here blonde hair, blue eyed and whatnot, and we cool. Okay. We standing on our blonde hair. We standing on our blue eyes. All right. That's what we doing. We standing on ours. Okay. Shout out to Floyd Thompson. Floyd said, Roger, is the ad asking white men to stop chasing the scantily clad black women and get right with the white? You know what, Floyd? I didn't see any of that in that ad. I didn't see any of that in that ad. Okay. I didn't see any of that in that ad. But what I did see white people representing white people. Then I seen other white people representing white people. And I saw white people loving themselves, y'all. Okay? They may not have been on the same side of how we love ourselves. They may not have been on the same side of that. But I saw them loving themselves. Now, as a content creator, sure, I talk about problems with our people. Okay. I definitely talk about problems with the women. I know people don't like that because black men, have been trained that the woman is always right. Okay. I get all that. Now, unfortunately, I've lost multiple channels, y'all. But how many black men have I honored over here? The show I Love My People. Okay. I even started throwing some women in there. Great women of the black community. All right. Done honored 4 women. What was it? 4 women I did that with? Well, actually, I did honor Coretta Scott King before I even came up with that concept of great women of the black community. I honor Coretta Scott King. Okay. Who I done honored why am I blanking on the names right now? Tina Ball, okay, being a great wife to LeVar Ball. What's the young lady that's big in gymnastics? Well, I can't think of her name right there. The great gymnastic champion. I didn't honor her. I'm blanking on her name right now. Can somebody help me? What's that? The young lady I honored who does it. Thank you, Floyd. Floyd looking out for me. Y'all about to leave me on stuck. Floyd looking out for me. I done honor Simone Biles. Okay. I done honor Kobe's wife, Vanessa Bryant. Okay. And y'all may say, well, ho, all of them ain't black. Yeah, but they were all married to a black man. Okay. As I've said before, men are the community. Women participate in the community. Just is what it is. Okay. How many black men have I honored? Malcolm Jamal Warner recently honored. Okay. Is what it is, y'all. I've honored Jesus Christ himself. Okay. That was my first Living Legend Award, went out to Jesus Christ himself, a black man. Okay. Real talk. All right. I've honored Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders, Robert Smith, Eddie Murphy. Okay, Dave Chappelle. Okay, men after men after men. Just plenty of brothers, plenty of black men. Why? Because I think being black is cool. I think being black is dope. I think being black is what it is. Okay, real talk. Even with everything I've seen in this society, if somebody gave me the power, I could choose to be a white man right now, I would not take it at all. Hey man, I can make you a white man right now. Am I gonna take that? No. Because ain't nothing better than being black, if you ask me. Okay? Ain't nothing better than being black. Now, I don't understand. Well, I mean, technically I do, but, just for the sake of conversation, the context. I don't understand how a black person can't see being black as the top of everything. Okay? I have a hard time with that. All right? Now, I'm saying what I saw in this commercial, I saw white people liking white people, supporting white people. People came at it from two different angles, but both of them came at it with the love of white people. Some people think, hey, y'all putting our racism out there in a way that we ain't supposed to put it out there. Let's keep that covered up a little bit. Let's cover that up. Okay. We ain't supposed to put it out on Front Street. So when they talk about the woke crowd, that's what I believe the woke crowd was doing. Hey, y'all, put that racism away. We ain't supposed to advertise it like that. We ain't supposed to advertise it like that. Now, I do understand the quote unquote woke crowd ain't supposed to be racist. All right. That's all I'm gonna tell you now. All right. You believe what you want to believe, okay? You believe what you want to believe. I'm not saying we don't have white allies here and there. I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm not going to buy into the quote unquote woke crowd is somehow anti-racist. I ain't seen enough evidence. Okay, I just leave it at that. I ain't seen enough evidence. And then you got other folks who say, hey, y'all, we blonde haired, we blue eyed, and we cool. Now, if I had to suffer through being white, okay, and I'm gonna say it like that because I'm black, y'all. If I had to suffer through being white, I think I would take that attitude on too, because ain't nothing I can do about being white if I am white. So I'm gonna have to act like white people is the best thing smoking. It just is what it is. See, I've never, ever been offended by some group acting like they the best thing smoking. Why shouldn't they act that way? Okay? See, that's my thing. Do we love ourselves? Do we love ourselves? Because why shouldn't they act that way? If you had to be Hispanic, if you had to be Asian of any kind, Chinese, Korean, just whatever, Filipino, whatever. All right. If you had to be Indian, whatever. Okay. If that's what your situation is, that's what your situation is. You can't do nothing about it. Okay. You can't do nothing about it. Now, shout out to Randall Roberts. He said, no, man. I won't support white people just because they white. No. I ain't saying you're supposed to support white people. I did not say that. I said I ain't got no problem with white people just being white. That's what they subject to at the end of the day. They didn't get to be black. See, the thing is, y'all, how do we view ourselves? See, when I look at white people, and this is I'm not saying this to offend any white people in the audience. We got a couple good white folks in this audience. So I'm not saying this to offend y'all. I'm saying this because this is what I honestly believe. You didn't get to be black. Black is a thing that you get to be. That's real world to me. Okay. Other groups of people is something you have to be. Okay. Just is what it is. Black people seem to have a blessing that other people just don't have. Now, I'm not saying white folks haven't did some things to contribute to the world, because they have. They've done some things to contribute to the world. They've taken certain interests and it has helped the world. You know, can't say they ain't did nothing. Okay. They've taken some interest in and they've helped the world in some kind of way. But black is something you get to be. It ain't something you just have to be. You get to be black. And I understand why other groups of people don't like us. You know, I've been cracking jokes for years saying if I wasn't me, I'd be out there trying to be like me too. Okay, so when I think about black people as a group, I can understand why other groups of people will want to be us. And I totally get why other groups of people will want to do something to us to slow our progress down. I understand why other groups of people will want to act shady with us. I totally get that. Because they don't get to be us. Okay? Sydney Sweeney is an attractive white woman. She is. But she didn't get to be black. Okay? Now, I'm not going to put no words in her mouth. Again, y'all, I don't know that she came out to say anything after this American Eagle campaign has gotten into these major broadcasts and folks talking about on their podcast and all that type of stuff. If she got $1 million for it, hey, good for her. Is what it is. Now, my thing is collectively as black folks, this is how we're supposed to love ourselves. Okay, this is how we're supposed to love ourselves. The biggest shame of this is that the white people is arguing from their different white perspectives about loving their own people. But we don't really move like this enough. I'm going to say we're not showing that we can move like this enough. I ain't going to say we can't do it. I'm going to say it needs to be shown a little bit more. Okay? Now, because I'm a content creator, I do what I can to show that. Again, y'all, I've honored Malcolm Jamal Warner. I've honored Micah X. That's Micah Xavier Johnson, the man who went out to shoot up the police on behalf of black people. He said he got tired of black people suffering. The man had been to the military, came back home, had to see his people suffer through the hands of police and other situations. And that man loved me enough to go out there and kill for me. I didn't even ask him to do it. He loved me so much, he went out to kill on my behalf. If my memory is correct, he shot 11 officers. I believe he killed 5 of them. He knew he wasn't going to come home, but he loved me enough to go do that. I don't know, the man literally died for me. I know he loved me. Okay, I know he loved me. All right? It's not even a question for me. He loved me. All right, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Did he do stuff for black folks who haven't arrived yet, meaning unborn children? Yes. He talked about it. We trying to make certain moves so kids coming in the future can live a better life. He went out. He knew he was going to get killed. Let's keep it real. He knew he was going to get killed. But he loved me enough to do it anyway. I can rock with that. Okay? Shout out to you, Gold P. Gold P has said something about a cash app. It ain't came in yet, Gold P. As soon as it come in, I got you, brother. Okay? Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't no fool. He knew he was going to get killed. But he did it anyway. Now, shout out. Okay, I got some coming in, y'all. I got some coming in. And we got shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast for the $5 cash app. He says, keeping it honest. Hey, that's what I'm trying to do, my brother. That's definitely what I'm trying to do. Keep it honest, y'all, as best I can. Okay. Shout out to Gold P, throwing it up a level, dropping the $10 cash app. He says, ain't nothing greater than being a brother. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm talking about right there, y'all. He put the 10 on that. Ain't nothing greater than being a brother. All right? And if you understand, like I understand, y'all, I get why white people make some of these moves because they don't get to be us. You know, you got to live a whole life and you don't get to be black. Okay? Shout out to Randall Robinson. He said, Malcolm knew he was going to be killed also, and I was just about to bring him up. I've honored that man on this channel. Okay? Well, the ones in previous that we have lost. But I've honored Malcolm X because I love being black. I love my people. Okay? I love my community. That means black men. I love the women who participate in the black community with us. That means our black wives. Okay? I love the children that live in our homes. And truth be told, I still have a certain love for the dysfunctional, anti-family single mother community. I do have a love for them, but unfortunately, you got to do certain things so they'll come to a certain understanding. Loving them don't mean I support their nonsense. Okay? So shout out to Randall Robinson. He's right. Malcolm X laid his life on the line for me. He knew what he was doing. He wasn't dumb. Okay? He wasn't dumb. Shout out to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby done been in the world of entertainment, and so much of that world of entertainment, he was doing stuff to show his love for black men and black women. And at the end of the day, you see what it got him. A bunch of false charges. They even put him in prison for a few years over a bunch of false charges. Okay? He should have never had to do that. But see, this is the thing. Bill Cosby knew something was probably going to happen to him a long time ago because he was pushing for us. He was pushing for us. That man loved us in a way that most folks cannot believe. I've honored Bill Cosby. Okay? Real talk. Man's a living legend. All right? Is what it is. You know, I can go on all day. You know, well, not all day, but eventually we'll get to I can go on all day because I've honored so many black men. Now, I've had trouble sustaining channels, y'all. I hope this will be the last one that I have to rebuild. But if I lose another because I'm supporting black men, then, I'm going to keep on doing what I've been doing. It is what it is, y'all. I'm going to keep on doing it. I ain't going to let it go. Okay? Okay? I'm just not going to let it go. All right? I see you, Irvin Reed. Is way beyond that, Irvin Reed. It's way beyond that. Irvin Reed said Rogers black women nonsense love equals y'all know that mean booty. That's the other I know that's like a peach, but that mean booty, okay? All right. Now it ain't just the way they look like, it ain't just the booty, okay? Okay. I love them because they black folks. Okay, it just is what it is. I love them because they black, and I want to see them do better. I can't make them do better. And of course, you can't do anything unless you're going to apply some type of rules to them and make them actually deal with the rules that you're applying for them. So it just is what it is. It don't mean I don't love them. I've told y'all, at this particular point in my life, now that I understand so much about the world and this country and how things operate, I see black women begging, I ain't giving them squat. I'm not turning my back on them like I'm not going to give them anything because I don't like them. No, I'm not giving them anything because there's so much help out there for them that they don't need no extra help from me. They're fine. They're lucky enough to live in America and they're fine. Now, if they won't get themselves together, I got to accept that that's what their decision is. It's not about me at the end of the day. She just don't want to be together. Because we are in a society right now that is, quote unquote, black women proof. You can't fail as a black woman unless you want to. They got you here. All right? It just is what it is. Here, they got you. You ain't got to worry about it. Okay. Now, why was this commercial or this whole campaign ad? Why did it mean something to me? It only meant something to me because I see how black people should move. It was so many white people coming out to defend this ad. Now, there were so many white people coming out to go against the ad. But I'm not saying either side wasn't doing it out of their love for white people. I think one side who was saying, hey, you making us look bad because you throwing that eugenics thing out there. That's the undertone of the commercial. You throwing it out there. So you're exposing us being racist when we supposed to have that kind of tucked away to the side so we can always make the claim that that ain't us. I think that's what the woke side was doing. Okay, that's how I see it. I think that's what the woke side was up to. Stop exposing the fact that we racist. Okay? Why are you doing that? But they was doing that out of love for their own people. Then you got the other side who's saying, look, man, we hear you, but we really don't hear you because we blonde hair, blue-eyed, and that's cool. Now, does that mean every last one of them were blonde hair and blue-eyed? No, but it's the sentiment of the situation. Okay? It's the sentiment of the situation. All right? So at the end of the day, they just trying to protect theirs. Now, what would happen if black folks felt the same way, y'all? Now, I remember when FUBU got big, we wasn't using the internet like we using it now. Let's just keep it real. We're not using the internet like we using us. But y'all, FUBU, that whole thing about for us, by us. Now, let me be honest. I'm going to be 100% honest, y'all. Did I buy FUBU simply because I found out FUBU was owned by some black men? Okay, it was 4 brothers that I knew about. And I found out the slogan means for us, by us. Did I buy some FUBU just because of that? Yeah, I did. Real talk. Real talk. That's what I did. It means for us, by us, good enough for me. They didn't need to sell me on anything else. It was for us, by us, I'm in. It's that simple. Okay. Now, can I buy a black product from every single black producer out there? No, but I do actually buy stuff just off the GP that black people own it. I do that. I've been doing that for a long time. Okay. I'm somewhere, some black person got a business. Hey, let me come to your restaurant instead of one of these other restaurants right now. Now, they may be a one spot, quote unquote, mom and pop shop. They only got one location. I don't know how good the food is or not, or whatever the case is, but they happen to be there. Am I going to buy from theirs? Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. If their food is not the greatest, am I going to trip or complain? Nope. Because they're my people at the end of the day. They'll get better with time. It's that simple. They'll get better with time. Okay. No. Best coat I ever had, y'all. Best looking coat I ever bought in my life. Carl Kanai. Okay. Carl Kanai. Now, I found out Carl Kanai was some black man. Now, the coat I was getting, it was bad. I ain't going to describe it, but it was cold. That thing was cold. I guess they didn't make a whole lot of them because I'm the only person I knew that had that particular one. I ain't never seen nobody else with that coat. Now, I know they had to make more. It wasn't no one-off, I'm sure. But it was a bad coat. Okay? I had it. Okay? It was a Carl Kanai coat. Now, y'all understand, even with designers and whatnot, you pay a little extra money because, you had that designer name and all that type of stuff. But I paid that extra money. Why? Because I could. It was raw. And then it was black on. I was like, oh, okay. This too good to let go. This is too good to let go. Had to do it. All right. So Do I get the white people taking issue with the campaign? Yeah, I get it. I get white people responding. Okay. They want to fight to make the image of white people be good, regardless of what's going on. Okay. Shout out to the Forward Times. He say Stacey Adams. So I know you done grabbed the pair of Stacey Adams. You done found out they was owned by some black men, and you was like, no, let me get them Stacey Adams over there. I did the same thing, my brother. I done did the same thing. Okay. You know, it is what it is. So now I see this commercial. All right. Do I believe they were trying to push a eugenics message in the commercial? Not necessarily. I'll say it like this, y'all. Not necessarily. It's enough there that, genes is the issue, not necessarily meaning eugenics, but if it were to be interpreted that way, would they care? No. And because they did come out and say, hey, y'all, screw what you heard, it's about the genes. I saw how they treated they treated their star. They done signed the star up to do these commercials. I'm saying Sydney Sweeney being the star. And they made a public statement to back her, like, y'all leave her alone. It's about them genes. I ain't never seen that happen to a black person. But I ain't never seen a major corporation come out and say, leave that black person that we got. We signed that black person, leave them alone. They cool. It's about the product. I ain't never seen that. Okay, I ain't gonna say it didn't happen, but I ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen it. Okay. All right. And shout out to Dark Kent. He say Eddie Bauer. Hey man. I remember getting some Eddie Bauer. Okay. It is what it is. All right. Now, I see white people rallying around the campaign ad. I see white people rallying around Sydney Sweeney. And they say they done sold a whole lot of them jeans, y'all. They done sold a whole lot of them jeans. And the company points, they went up. They went up in the stock market, y'all. Commercial did so much work. Now, if they paid her $1 million, that definitely was a very well spent $1 million. The stocks went up, y'all. That's crazy work right there. Now, I got to ask a question, y'all. Everybody like black folks. Now, I get they can't stand us, but they still like us. Okay? Or you may say love us because they love what we do. They love our products and services. So is it fair for us to love ourselves even in public? Because honestly, I think the only thing that would happen if we actually show a certain kind of love toward ourselves, I think just more white people would buy more public products and services from us. Because who really don't like us? Now, I get it. From a certain racist perspective, they don't like us. I get that all day long. I am not telling y'all that's not there. But when it comes to our products and services, could they really resist if we always showing love to ourselves? If that was the normal thing that they can see from us, I'm not talking about what we can see from us, but if it was the normal thing about what they could see from us, wouldn't we just sell more products and more services? Okay. Because when I think about this ad, and you got to say, was this a win for white people or was this a loss for white people? What do y'all think happened? Is this a win or a loss for white folks? This very ad campaign for American Eagle jeans, regardless on what side any white people are standing on, was this a win or a loss for them? I think it was a win. Okay. I don't see how you can interpret anything that happened with this ad campaign, the news stories, the people who made social media for or against. I don't see how they lost at all. I don't get it. I'm just being for real, y'all. I don't see where the loss is. Now, do I think we can do the same type of thing all the time? Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Shout out to Shout out to Randall Robinson. Now, don't tell me Randall Robinson, a white guy. He say white people try to shame me for being cool with black people. Randall, don't tell me you're a white guy in this picture now. I know the picture's small. Don't tell me you're a white guy over here trying to be cool with black folks and they bother you. Don't tell me that now. Okay. But if that's the case, hey, shout out to you again, brother. Shout out to you. I think you've made a great decision. I think you made a great decision. That's real talk. Okay. And Randall Robinson said yes. He said yes. So they bother him just because he cool with black people, y'all. Now, he ain't letting that sway him. So shout out, and I've seen his name in this chat on many a time. So, shout out to that brother. Well, shout out. Well, I guess you can still call him a brother, but shout out to him anyway, because he ain't let none of that stop him from coming through. Because I've seen him plenty of times before, y'all. So I think it's safe to say that Randall Robinson is a regular over here at the Roger Report Live. So shout out to you in extra time, And, black folks ain't trying to hurt nobody. Okay, let's just keep it real, y'all. We not trying to hurt nobody. Now, the thing is, though, I believe white people say, let's put our best up front, which I've told y'all time and time again. I don't see nothing wrong with putting your best up front. It just is what it is. Okay? Okay? It is what it is. I think some people got rattled because they, American Eagle decided to go with Sydney Sweeney, and she's a beautiful young lady. Okay? Now, she about 27 years old. I looked into that. I think I remember 27 is her age right about now. Hey, I mean 30 round the corner, but she in Hollywood, and y'all know Hollywood play by some different rules. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all. this dude, Urban Reed, man. Urban Reed said, he say, yeah. Y'all, Urban Reese, and I'm sure he means Randall Robinson, is black pass. He said he's black passing, y'all. Well, you know what? I rock with it, y'all. It's always cool for a white person to actually rock with black people. That's always a cool thing to see. Real talk, y'all. So I guess until further notice, y'all, Randall Robinson is officially black pass over here at the Roger Report Live. Until we find something else, and we don't find nothing wrong, he may have the honor of being the first black passing white man ever. Oh! Urban Reed said again too, we didn't know all this time. Well, you know what? I never assumed it. Okay. I never assumed it. Now, a name like Randall, I would say this, I ain't met a lot of black Randalls. I know there's a few of them out there. One of your apprentices. I know there's a few of them out there, but that's not a heavy name amongst black folks. It's a few of them out there, y'all. It's a few of them out there. So shout out to Randall Robinson for being black passing. now Floyd Thompson, he say Cunningham. No, I'm not saying it ain't a bunch of white Randalls out there, but a black Randall. Nah, I ain't seen a lot of them. We had Oh, wait, well, my bad. Randall Cunningham, the football player. That's what you talking about, Floyd. Yeah, absolutely. Randall Cunningham, because I was about to go to him next as an example. I don't even know how I disconnected that. But yeah, shout out to Randall Cunningham. That was my next example, you know. For some reason, I went to Richie Cunningham. Okay. So shout out to Randall Cunningham. Real talk. Okay. Dark Kid say Randall Cobb too. So shout out to Randall Cobb out there. You know, real talk, y'all. So it ain't heavy amongst us, but they out there. They out there. And shout out to Afro Merchant who came through with the $10.57 with the Trail Bentley tax. Shout out to Trail Bentley for the Trail Bentley tax that Afro National just put on. Appreciate you, my brother. He say black jeans. And you know what? Shout out to you, man, because that's part of where I was going with this too, y'all. That's part of where I was going. Can white people have their white jeans? Because we can have our black jeans, y'all. Real talk. Okay. Can white folks have their white jeans? Okay. Because, you know, we got black jeans. And I'm going to tell you why I did not find this commercial offensive at all. I'm going to tell you why I didn't find it offensive. I get it with the double entendre. You know, Sydney does have some great jeans. Sydney jeans got her in a position where she's in movies now. She's making big dollars. Let's keep it real. If she wasn't so attractive, would she make the money she make in Hollywood? Probably not. She do got good jeans. Let's keep that all the way real. Sydney got some great jeans. Okay? If it were not for her jeans, she'd probably just be a regular white chick. Okay? Now, don't get it twisted. You could be a regular white chick and still make it into a movie. You don't get to play the good looking woman. You don't get to play that role. You know, I seen her star in a movie, some romantic comedy. I think the other guy's name is Glenn Powell. He was the male in the romantic comedy, but the movie was good. Okay, the movie was good. All right. Now she got a pair of great jeans, right? Now I think about black folks, y'all. We got the greatest jeans. Now they may have great jeans, JEA. But we got great jeans. Okay. I mean, even my main man, yep, because I'm gonna keep on supporting him heavy. I'm gonna keep on supporting him heavy. My main man, Shannon Sharp from yesterday, y'all. We did a show about him yesterday. Sydney got great jeans, but Shannon got great jeans. Let's think about that, y'all. Sydney got great jeans, but Shannon got great jeans. Okay. His jeans has allowed him to be one of the greats in football. Okay, and he got a career so big that white people say, "Hey, we got to do something with this guy. He about to take over the market." Okay, it's just what it is. Plus, he has an advantage that we don't have. Shannon Sharp is a black man looking to bring black people on his show. That's an advantage, y'all. Now, I understand a lot of y'all are trained that, hey, you know, it's the thing to be on some white person's show. Okay, I get it. I get it. But black people sell, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. Black people sell. We always have. We always will. White folks will claim we don't sell, but we've always sold. And you know what? It just is what it is. Shannon got the inside track on this stuff. He do. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm not saying Shannon ain't interviewed nobody white, because he has. I ain't saying he ain't interviewed nobody white. He has. If you look through his channel, you can find a white guy on there. Okay? But he got the inside track because he black. Okay? I ain't saying black folks ain't gonna do the white people shows. But when the big time quote unquote black guy calls you up, you gonna say no to him? Of course. I'm going home. See, that's how we are. I can go home and do my show. Not my quote unquote actual home, but I can go to the black man show, do my interview, promote my movie, promote my product, promote my business, whatever it is that I'm doing, and I can do that at home with my people. That's just how it goes. All right. And I know the average Black person may have some sort of a struggle with some of that because we've been raised in this white supremacist country. And we've been taught to be white supremacists too. Now, that's your own personal responsibility to let all that go. Okay, it's your own personal responsibility to let that go. You know, I do give my parents credit for already kind of dousing those fires when I was growing up as a kid, because I don't believe if I was raised the way I was raised that I think the white supremacy would be far deeper in me than the way it is. Because, you know, I honor my people. Okay, I honor my people. I ain't got no problem with a white person as an individual. Okay, I just don't like white supremacy. It just is what it is. And a white supremacist could be any color. Okay. And if you're raised in America, this country teaches you to be a white supremacist. And that's why I let people know what it is up front. You've been taught to be a white supremacist. Now you need to handle that. Because once you're 18 and over, I don't give you no excuse for being a white supremacist no more. When you're 17 and down, you can say that's what they taught me in school. You can say my parents didn't do right by me to teach me nothing different. You can give me all kinds of stuff and I'm going to let it rock. But once you're 18, I ain't letting it rock no more. It's a personal choice to you at this point. So what I'm not going to do is get mad at Sydney Sweeney for doing an ad that white people can take pride in being white. I am not against white people taking pride in being white. That alone is fine. Even with the double entendre about jeans, just being happy you white is cool. That's all you got. You didn't get to be Black. Okay. So if you didn't get to be Black, why not be happy you are whatever it is that you happen to be? Now, I cannot sit here, y'all. I'm just not going to lie to y'all and act like I'm not biased to being Black. I'm very biased to being Black. Okay. I love it. Okay. Shout out to Randall Robinson. He say, I've been kicking racist white tail for years. Salute to you on that one. Salute to you on that one. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. That's real talk, y'all. And I do actually appreciate that. Because I understand white people have to go through a certain kind of trouble to stand up for other people besides themselves. Okay. A lot of times it could cost them certain things. So I appreciate any white person who's going to go down that road. You know, it ain't the friendliest road. Now, I'm going to say that. It ain't the friendliest road. Okay. But me being a Black person, I can't get mad at nobody for loving themselves. I think we should love ourselves publicly in a way that these white folks are showing the love for themselves about this ad. Because that's what I saw it spark up. Now, I know a lot of folks going to focus on the y'all talking about eugenics part. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to make a story. People want to get clicks. People want to get views. You know, people want to be watched. But I'm seeing it as white folks loving being white. There's just two major perspectives about the love of white people right in this particular avenue. But at the end of the day, they all trying to protect whiteness. Okay? I think the woke crowd is really saying, hey, why are you putting the racism out front? Whoa, chill. We ain't about that life. We ain't doing that. We ain't, whether they actually racist or not. It's, hey, we don't want you out here publicly putting out no racist message, which technically is not a bad thing. And then you got some other white folks, again, y'all, they just saying, hey, we blonde eyed. I mean, what is that? We blonde hair, blue eyed, and we just cool with it. I can't be mad at you, man, because I ain't gonna never just not be cool with being Black. But do I ever say go out and hurt white people? No, I don't say go hurt no white person. Now, if a white people put you in a position where you gotta hurt them, that's on them. But I would never say let's figure out how to attack white people. Let's go get them. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gave me no reason to do nothing to you, I ain't gonna do nothing to you. Okay. Shout out to Urban Reed. He said, great point, Roger. That's sort of overlooked in this. Well, I mean, people gonna see the world in different ways. Some folks may be purposely overlooking it. I just look for stuff, and y'all, when I bring something to the table, I'm gonna bring what I see. Okay, I'm gonna bring what I see. So that's the battle I see. We talking about Sydney Sweeney, and I'm not saying people are really going out their way to trash her personally. There's some people who did a few personal attacks, but it don't seem like the crowds are going out their way to trash her personally. And she ain't said nothing. They winning no matter what. The jeans got sold. All right. There's people who say, yeah, I never heard of American Eagle. They know American Eagle's name now. All right. Once you know about a place, a product, or a service, you may check into it at some time. You might live around the corner from something, but nobody ever mentioned it to you, so you didn't pay attention to it. But once somebody mentioned it to you, you might stop in. Okay? And that's what's going on. You got some white folks who gonna stop in. Maybe they never paid attention to American Eagle, but they're gonna stop in now. I told y'all I done lived in the Gold Coast. Okay? Area in Chicago. Very rich area. Okay? I ain't rich. I just happen to be blessed enough to live there, y'all. God be pulling strings for me. That's all I'm saying. God be pulling strings for me. I get to enjoy some stuff. Okay, I'm a blessed individual. All right. I do get some favoritism from him. I can tell enough about my life that he does give me some favor. So yeah, I done lived in the Gold Coast, y'all. Okay. I saw an American Eagle spot down there. That's what I remember seeing. Never went into the store because I never cared about American Eagle. It just is what it is. I ain't never cared. Now, and personally, am I gonna go into the store at this particular point? Probably not, because what do they sell for black men? I'm not getting the idea that they're selling a lot of stuff that I would be interested in. But at this point, if I do actually go into the store, if I actually change my mind to go into that store, let's keep it real. This story about this commercial helped with that a great deal. Because now it's been put into my mind. Now, just maybe I will actually go into a store the next time I'm around. Let's keep it real. Okay. I might go in there just to see if they got something I want to buy. Because now the name of it is in my mind. Now, I haven't seen the American Eagle a ton of times because like I said, I happen to live in the Gold Coast for a minute. And shout out to Dark King. He said, yeah, it's very expensive on the Gold Coast. Now, I ain't had the money to be there. I was just blessed to be there. Okay. Hey, God shows me a lot of favor in a lot of ways. So that was just one of the things he's done for me. Okay. That I got to spend some time in the Gold Coast. But I ain't got that Gold Coast money. So y'all don't get it twisted. Okay. Don't get it twisted. All the money on the wood is good over here at the Roger Report Live. I ain't living the Gold Coast lifestyle. I ain't claiming that at all. Okay, but I got my main man, Inspired Truth, then came up. So I'm gonna get out his way and let him get the mic. Hey, I've been talking the whole episode. So Inspired Truth, what you got for this one, brother? What you got for this one?
First off, let me make sure that I'm actually able to be heard. Am I coming in loud and clear?
Yes, sir. We hear you, brother. We hear you.
Excellent, excellent. Peace to you, Raj. Peace to the chat. Appreciate everything you do. There's so many dynamics to this here. Like the first thing that comes to mind is the difference between actresses and actors and writers. Like the writers of this commercial are probably the main people that people should take issue with. Like actors and actresses, they just perform out these different things. And we often give them a lot of the heat because they're the face of the thing, but they're not actually the creator, the originator of the thing. They might not even really be involved in the editing process. Like you might take something that's a statement and it might end up becoming a completely different statement by the time it ends up getting edited. So there's a lot of things that we really don't think about when these issues come to the floor. That's the first thing. The second thing is the whole idea of some of what I've been seeing pop up with the reaction to this. Like most of what I've been seeing is been kind of like it's been black female content creators taking a whole lot of negative. They've been apprehensive of this for the most part. It seems like it kind of mushroomed into this whole like eugenics thing and all of that. But the way that I see this is like, okay, wait a minute, like your real issue here is that white women are still the preference of white men for the most part, and then you have the brothers jumping in on it because they see the women, but they're not really seeing what's really animating this for the most part. That's the other side of this. And then, like you just mentioned, like Shannon Sharp, and when you stop and you think about like what Shannon Sharp got all of his negative, all of his flack for was kind of like messing around with, Caucasian female. Like they kind of took it off into a sidebar about the whole age gap thing, but like it's kind of like keeping a stack. I mean, there's a lot of that is really more about the racial dynamic and him being a brother for the most part. So that's why I say, hey, Sydney, Shannon, y'all need to link up.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. I wouldn't turn it down.
I
So,
mean, for real. I mean, she's a lot prettier than that other one. I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing there. They could be an item.
if you
That'd be a
start,
power couple.
comparing and contrasting, yeah, you you ain't got to be you ain't got to worry about people seeing you with Sydney like you was worried about that other one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we got Pastor who done came up as well. So
Yeah,
Pastor,
what
you
up,
got the
Roger?
floor, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good, good.
I, initially, I looked at it as, a girl fight, just women arguing over beauty standards and who look better and what jeans. But then when I started looking at it a little bit more, as far as the advertisement, we were talking about advertising and marketing last time I was up here with you. Uh, they did put gene far as like genetics. Like I have great genes, and they put it far as like GENE rather than JEANS, right? But anyway, they marked out the gene part, and then they spelled it as like genes far as blue jeans. So they are playing around with that idea. I've seen people lately coming after Beyonce for her jean commercials and her blonde wigs, saying like, why she wearing blonde wigs? Why she culturally appropriating a white woman, right? So I think this Sydney chick is a chance for them to have one of theirs in the spotlight of American Beauty again. And plus, I think American Eagle is trying to compete with Levi's. I think there's a marketing corporate aspect to this very much, but then I think there's a social, eugenics kind of underlining aspect to it as well. I don't think because I remember like going to the mall and they had American Eagle, Abercrombie and Fitch, Aeropostale. I personally didn't wear those clothes, but I even know some black people that will go in there, wear some Aeropostale or Abercrombie and Fitch or American Eagle. You know what I'm saying? So we were wearing those clothes. Beyonce was wearing those clothes. We were advertising those clothes. Now they're saying it's almost like with that Tommy Hilfiger. You remember Tommy Hilfiger back in the days where black people were started wearing Tommy Hilfiger, and then we took over the image of Tommy Hilfiger, and then he was like, "Man, I don't want y'all wearing my clothes." And then Tommy Hilfiger kind of went down from there. So we'll see if American Eagle is able to go up from there. Because Tommy Hilfiger was up and then they went down. I think American Eagle was down. Now they're trying to come up. So we'll see how that works out for us for them.
Well,
Quick
I'm gonna say
question.
that I don't see them going nowhere but up. And I think my personal opinion, their target audience is for white people to buy their jeans, which I can't be mad at them. If it's a white-owned company and your target audience is a bunch of white people, to me that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Your target audience is a bunch of white folks. Truth be told, anybody who puts white folks as a target audience, it makes sense because they're the majority of the people in the country. So why wouldn't you target a majority of people? So from a business standpoint, it does make sense at the end of the day. And I can't be mad at white people for simply being white. Okay, you got to do what you can. You didn't get to be black. You got to do what you can do to enjoy life a different way, because you don't get to be us. And I ain't mad at somebody trying to take pride in whatever it is that they are. Because if I didn't get to be a black man, I would try to be as happy as I could with whatever I had to be. Yeah, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you ask your question real quick. Y'all can't take too long because we just got an Ivy League who done came up. Matter of fact, he do get Ivy League prayer. Let me just let him make his statement, then ask your question. And inspired. So y'all, this is the name he chose. It ain't me, y'all. Hot meat, you have the floor.
Salute to Roger. Salute to the folks on the panel.
What up?
Shout
What up?
out to the folks in the chat. So, Roger, I have a couple points. First point, I want to say, it does have an overture of eugenics by design. You know, the new marketing right now is to get woke people upset in the age of social media, because woke people are the greatest advertisers that you can get, because it's going to go viral, it's going to be all over the feed, and people are going to hear about it because people are just that sensitive on that aspect. Second aspect, I think you're right on the money. When it comes to black people, we don't understand, one, what is self-love, and two, that it's okay to love yourself. It is okay for a white woman with blue eyes and blue jeans to say, hey, I love my jeans. Jeans with a G, not a J. And see, this is where we can see the insecurities that's passed down by the black mother. Black mother says, you got that nappy hair. Your kitchen is messed up. Black mothers ridiculed Gabby Douglas, even though Gabby Douglas brought home a gold. All they cared about was she didn't wear a right wig. So you're definitely spot on with that, because there's nothing wrong with saying that you look good, because honestly, what is the difference? What is the difference between big hot meat Lizzo saying she loves her diabetes, plus size, well weight? Nobody said shit. Oh, excuse me, nobody said anything. But Sydney Sweeney, with the perfect rack, came up and said, I like my blue eyes and blonde hair. Now we got an issue. But when Popsicle Lips Lizzo came on talking about I love my body, everybody was cool. Right? So I think that the insecurities that the black mother passed down to the black community has really done a number on us, because we can't recognize what self-love is. We can't appreciate what self-love is. And we're too scared to say it in public. And my last point is this. I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit, Roger. Because if God said, hey, I'm going to make you a 6'4" white man with a black man's cock, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I am doing porn. Because what they say, if you do what your passion is, you never work a day in your life. I am passionate about sleeping with indiscriminate random women as much as possible. So
brother, that is your best opening statement of the year.
I'm taking that deal. So with that said, I'm gonna pass the mic.
Well, let me just throw out real quick, and then I'm gonna let you ask your question. He made that very specific. Okay, if he made me a white man with a black man's cock, he made that very specific. I'm just throwing that out there, y'all. He made that very specific.
With blonde hair, blue eyes, and 6'4" my height now, brother, will be a porn star and the next president.
Okay, we're gonna let it
It's
rock, man. I'm gonna let it rock. Okay, Inspired Truth. If you haven't forgotten your question, you said you wanted to ask something to Irv.
Sure.
My apologies. You wanted to ask something to Pastor.
Yeah, I did. It was about. It's hopefully it's not too far of like a tangent. I don't know what the heck happened with Tommy Hilfiger because I remember that at some point Aaliyah was actually a model there. Like a like how you gonna have like Aaliyah as the face of it, and then at the same time like go off on that
Well,
side tangent.
it's an urban myth. Tommy Hilfiger never said he never wanted black people to wear his stuff. It's an urban myth.
No, it's not about him saying it. It's okay to call me Irv, man. Ain't no wrong.
No.
That's why, yeah.
You could just call me hot, right? I understand. You can just call me hot. But the point is that he never said it. Like he said, I didn't make my clothes for the urban audience. He never said that. That never happened. Like it's already been proven debunked. It's already been debunked.
I can agree
It
with
was just a
that. I
rumor
can agree
that
that I can
it
agree
was
that he
just
never said it. However, we did become. So I agree with you that he didn't come out and say, "I want y'all. I want black people to be the face of Tommy Hilfiger." However, black people socially did. We were wearing that Tommy. We
yeah.
were wearing it. So it happened, even though he didn't make a proclamation for it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
and
people
I
believed it. People definitely believed it. Whoever made that rumor made a good ass rumor because people believed it because it spread all over Black America. People definitely believed it. That's for sure.
because it was visual, because to a certain extent it was visually true, even if the owner didn't say it. Visually,
Right.
black people, we were, man, it was in rap videos. It was, we made
Yep.
time. We not only did we wear the clothes, we wore it in a different style. Maybe not the style that it was intended to be worn.
Mhm.
I think Tommy Hilfiger, the one you just buy his clothes and put them on. Black people did not do that. We did. They had the Tommy Hilfiger half cut off shirts that the girls were wearing. The brothers was,
What?
what I'm saying, folding up
Hmm.
the
Well,
tailoring
we
the
made it.
pants and
We made
stuff.
it cool. We made it cool because I think Aaliyah was signed to them.
Yeah.
Tyrese might have been signed to them during that same time too. So we definitely
It
made it
was.
cool. You
Yeah,
know.
it was definitely Aaliyah, and then I want to say it was like probably Timberland Magoo, but whatever. When that rumor came out, then people went over to Polo. If that rumor came out, people wouldn't be messing with Polo like that.
Oh,
I
we
was gonna
rock
say
polo
it. You
so hard.
you took it from me. That's what I was. I was literally just jumping online to say it. It was Nautica and Ralph Lauren who made
Yep,
up that lie. They
yep.
teamed up.
Nautica, Ralph Lauren, and DKNY.
Yep, they teamed up and they got him off the map because at that time Tommy was taking off, man. Really.
Yep. Yeah, Ralph Lauren, DKNY, and Nautica probably snitched on that nigga.
But then we became then we became the face of those companies,
Who the hell
just
is
like
gonna be a polo
Beyonce,
baby?
just like Beyonce became the face of jean companies for a while, y'all. We like straight up, she has been. This Sydney chick is taking the crown from Beyonce as the jean queen because Beyonce was she was.
The Jean Queen.
Yeah,
Well, I
but I
mean,
mean,
she looked good in a pair of jeans. That's all I'm gonna say. All these little commercials I seen, she looked good in everything. So
yeah, but I
Ah,
want
you
I want
can't
to
bump
say
off
this,
Beyonce though.
like Abercrombie, because I believe American Eagle belongs to Abercrombie and Fitch, and I
Yeah, they
have I
do.
have I have two
Yeah.
friends who are regional managers for Abercrombie and Fitch Asia. Right, one of them is in Hong Kong, another one is in South Korea. Like that I mean, like if you look at their hiring staff and their corporate culture, it is kind of because like
Yeah.
one of the girls is white and the other girl is Korean, so it's like offshoot white, right? White adjacent, and so it is the overture of eugenics in that commercial. Bypass the mic.
I'm gonna say you're right, but well, they had to come back, so they've been hurting, right? They've been hurting for a little while
Yeah,
because the white kids ain't even going to them like that these days.
right.
They drifting towards more what the black kids are going towards. So Abercrombie and Fitch been hurting for a while. I think they even closed down stores within the last few years, if I
For
remember
sure.
correctly.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
they gotta do what they gotta do to get to rebound. But I'm going to keep I'm gonna keep the code going and say these monsters need to be brought to justice because this is atrocious. Because black people wear jeans too. Haters. Haters. They had to say all of that. I will say this though. I will say this. Levi's is gonna come through with Beyonce. Y'all gonna see what's gonna happen because they've been selling better than goddamn Abercrombie. Good luck, losers. And I'll leave it
No,
at that.
but see, that's the thing, man. See, this is the thing. We need to get back to our stuff. Fubu, Carl Kanai. I don't know. Cross Colors, is that black or not?
Nah, the cross colors was not
Yeah,
black,
I
but
don't
you know
remember them being black.
Rockaware, Sean
they weren't.
John.
But
Yeah,
black people wore
Rockaware,
them.
Sean John, Woo Wear, right? We need to get back to our stuff. Woo Wear, right?
State property, even though
Wu
that's
was
a
the
horrible
shit.
name. That's a horrible name, state property. That's a horrible name.
It was.
State property. But
That's a pretty
Rockaware,
bad
right?
name.
Rockaware. You know, we got
I
no,
had a
but
hoodie. I had a
we
state
need,
property hoodie.
bro,
I look like a prisoner.
we need, we need to see, because if we really had self love to combat Sydney Sweeney and her quote unquote good genes, we should have tag team her with Dirty Dick Rodney and Big Booty Keisha, right? With the good genes, right? Dirty Dick
Bring Apple
Rodney will
Bottom
stretch
back.
you
Bring
out,
Apple Bottom back.
right? Yeah, and Apple Bottom. Dirty Dick will stretch you out, and Keisha will wear you out.
What was it? This is my thing. Commercial. Commercials cool. I don't care about the commercial at the end of the day. I do understand that white people have to promote being white is a good thing, and that's just what I kind of saw with them. They're trying to promote being white is a good thing,
Right.
and I'm just telling them from an honest perspective. I get it. They're white. To me, that's something you have to be. Black is something you get to be. So I see black at a whole different level as white. So I totally understand why, as white people, you need to promote to other white people that it is actually cool to be white. Let's not, you need to promote that because let's keep it real. Cool is pretty much black. When you think about cool, I ain't saying there ain't no white person who's in and seen as a cool person, but being cool has been dominated by black folks. So it just is what it is on that note.
Well,
Brad Pitt
Roger,
has been considered
I think they
cool.
need to get their identity back because they've been wearing too much Supreme and Essential, and it's
Yeah,
changing the white. It's changing the white kid to
right.
become like an inner city kind of kid, and I think they kind of want to take their identity back too.
Well, I'm saying it's not even about just clothes itself. I'm saying black folks done had a real lock on being cool. If you think about cool white people, John Travolta was cool for a while. Brad Pitt was cool for a while. Like, who is the cool white guy now? Who's the cool white guy? Everybody think that white guy's cool. Who is?
Nobody. Well, I don't know. We're not teenagers now. I don't know. I mean, we're old, so
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, but even white folks are just not considered cool the way we're considered cool. It's just a different level when you think about
I mean,
cool.
who's
So
the
you
cool
got to
black
remind
guy
like
though? Who's the cool black
I
guy though?
mean, all of us cool. If we
Shit,
famous, we
Michael
cool.
B. Johnson, all them niggas cool.
And Michael
Okay,
B.
I give you
Jordan, you
that.
mean? But
Michael
yeah,
B. Michael B. Jordan, yeah,
I
Michael
give
B.
you that.
Jordan.
I give you that.
yeah,
All right.
black people are just considered cool. Period. So if
Well,
you happen to
like,
know our name, you just a person that's a celebrity, and you cool. At the
well, I
end
We're
of the
will.
day.
so cool. We're giving away free commercial ideas. Think about that I just pitched there. You could do a stone wash for wear out, and you could do a stretch jeans for the stretch out. Like that. That was
Well,
the cool idea.
Bill Belichick is cool in my book.
Well, I totally get why you say that.
Yeah. Bill Belichick is cool in my book, and
but
Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. Well, not Jeff Bezos fall off a little bit. He out here. He fell off a little bit. He must have.
Yeah.
yeah, but see, my point is, I totally get a white person trying to promote being white is cool. I get it. I understand it or whatever. We don't even promote ourselves as cool like that, but we get it anyway. Now me personally, because I am a content creator, I went through the trouble of promoting how black men are cool and how we are great. I do actually go through that trouble. And I'm just gonna tell y'all real talk. Now I know when I do something about a living legend, if I do a Rufus Nice Guy, if I do a grand finale, my number's gonna drop. Because we don't even understand the importance of celebrating our own like that. That don't mean I look at the numbers and stop doing them. I know it's important for us to push how great we are. People should notice how great we are. I don't have to make up stuff about how great we are. It's plain, it's easy, it's evident, and I'm gonna continue to do that type of stuff, even though I have an understanding because I've been doing this for a while, y'all. Those particular streams ain't gonna do as well. I'm just keeping it real. Now that's not because of me. That's because of y'all. Okay. But I ain't blaming y'all at the end of the day. I just get it. We as black people have certain issues, and then some people just didn't come around for that content. Some people came only around for certain things from a political perspective. Some people came only for what's going on with the women. People come for different reasons at the end of the day. But the thing is, it is our job to promote ourselves as being the cool people. Now, we are lucky enough that we don't necessarily have to. People just see us as cool anyway. We just that blessed.
But here's the biggest downfall though, is that like I'm going to disagree with you that we don't have to promote. We do have to promote it because Sydney.
Well, I'm not saying we don't have to promote in the context that we really don't have to promote. I'm not saying it in that. I'm saying we. Yeah, I'm definitely saying we should. Though let's not get that twisted.
Right, no, I hear you, but Sydney Sweeney promoting white, she's creating jobs for white people because more people buying jeans, that means more stores are opening up, more customer services, taking orders and things like that. If we really had self-love for ourselves like that, you know, those juicy sweat, apple bottom jeans, those juicy sweats, all that shit that were created by black people, that meant black jobs. Right, and promoting it, and see the thing about it is, the cold part about it is that American Eagle was promoting themselves to other races, and that's the cold part about it, or the cool part about it, right? Like I got good jeans because I have blue hair and blue eyes, and don't all you bitches want to be like me? Because it's being promoted to the Asians, it's being promoted to the blacks, it's being promoted to the Latinos.
See, now I'm glad you said that.
I take an opposite. I take an opposite approach to that because there's only a limited amount of blue hair, blue eyed people, and folks and a lot of Asians want to be like these people, but most people don't because they can't. I think this is going to alienate more people than it is going to benefit them. Honestly,
I'm about to say this is a good corporate battle. I'm glad y'all brought up that Levi's or another company did this because this is a good corporate battle.
Yeah.
Will the Americans?
It's not.
Yes, it is, because to a certain extent, I kind of agree with hot sauce. If they can get you're right. The blonde hair, blue eyed girl is the rarest white woman there is, right? Then it's the redhead, then the brunette, right?
So buying those jeans gets me the closest to whiteness. That's what they're saying.
And I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure if Asian and black girls won't follow suit. I'm not for sure if they won't.
Black girls ain't gonna follow suit because they don't make those jeans for black girls. That's the first thing.
These girls that ride, yes, they do.
No, you don't understand. They're not made for black people bodies. I've shopped at this store before. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'll give you that. But
their customer. Yeah, well, Asians, Latinos, they'll fall closer to us. But what I'm saying is, Abercrombie & Fitch's customer base, their target customer base, has never been the same as Levi's or even any of the other brands. It's never been that. There's only been certain groups that ever shopped at them, even when they were popular, right? So all I'm saying is, this ain't gonna change that. They're just trying to. Well, what they're trying to do is
I don't know about that.
What they're trying to do is consolidate their base. That's what they're trying to do. Because there's
no money in consolidation. It's about expansion.
Of course there is. That's called reducing customer turnover. Of course, it's value there.
I get consolidating. I get increasing revenue in your core base and all that. I get all that. But the issue is this, right? We're missing some basics. When it comes to the Western world, the standard of beauty is the white woman.
Correct.
That has been established, right?
Correct.
And people, especially people who are poor, and their demographic are the working class, the middle class, right? Is aspirational buying. So when you buy these jeans, you get a piece of what it's like to be with what is this to be a white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. You're getting a piece of that. You get to be a part of the group. So Asians for sure are going to buy it. The skinny Latinos are going to buy it. The Cubans who are colorists are going to buy it. Now for the black girls, okay, their body can't fit. So I'll give you that. But even the black girls who can fit, who has the white girl body type, they're going to buy it because
They're going to buy it.
Well, hold on. You're leaving
That's a
you're
good
leaving a group
marketing
out though. But go ahead.
debate.
You're
at
leaving a group out. But go ahead.
Okay, but my point, the main part of my thesis is this: getting these jeans gives you an opportunity to be a part of the white girl blue hair blind eye club. Don't miss out.
Now, let me say this before y'all say anything else. Before y'all say anything else. Now, when I look at it with that thought process in mind, I think, okay, cool. That's very marketable. You have a good point there. Now, the thing is, can she cause, y'all listen closely, can she cause the Jordan effect? Because that's what buying Jordans was.
You taking it away from me, Roger. Damn it.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna stand down and I'm gonna let you get it. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I hear everything that y'all saying, but do y'all realize this was done in the past? In the 1980s.
And it worked.
But wait, hold on. Wait. In the 1980s, before we know what happened in the 90s, this worked great. Do you know why they stopped doing it?
Body type change, man.
Because
it's only one Michael Jordan.
Well, not only that, but white women don't look like this anymore either.
Yep.
Okay, Lane Bryant got real popular in the 90s and the 2000s. Lane Bryant. Anybody know who shops at Lane Bryant?
I do know that.
I think we're showing our age here because millennial are fat. Gen Z and alphas, they're not fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Nope.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. They're not as fat as millennials.
You need to come out here and look around, player. You need to.
They're not fat as millennials.
But to Hassan's point, hold on. But to Hassan's point, though, they still even if they buy Lane Bryant, they still buying Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was the expense.
Right.
The Lane Bryant girls was buying Lane Bryant because they wanted the Victoria's Secret plus look. But they still wanted to be in that class of girls.
Right now, but Victoria.
One second, I got to interject this in because this from my main man Kel of Black Men Being Brutally Honest, my habitual line stepper brother. He says the standard of beauty is a matter of perception. If I don't believe a fire breathing big back is feminine and sexy, that's not me saying I prefer the white woman's. He's making a point, though. He's definitely making a point.
I think we're missing the overall point because the thing about it is women. I don't understand why we are talking about women who can't fit the jeans. If they can't fit the jeans, obviously that's out, right? But when you're marketing to people, you're marketing to a group. You're not going to get everyone, right? If you're trying to market to everyone, that is a person who has very bad experience in marketing, right? So you're going to sit down and you're going to say, okay, these are the people I want to target. So obviously you're attracting thin people. So the big backs are not even part of this discussion. But what is a part of discussion, the people that fit this body type, regardless of color, we're giving you an opportunity to be a part of the blonde hair, blue eye, white girl club. Don't miss out. And that's just the bottom line.
Right, but that's not going to work. Hold on. Sorry,
I'm not finished.
Yeah.
And so, the Michael Jordan effect, okay, she's not fucking Michael Jordan, right?
Exactly. She's not.
But that doesn't take away that she can do it at a lower level of what Michael Jordan has done.
Then that means it's not the
Like
Michael
a
Jordan
Charles
effect.
Barkley, like a Charles Barkley effect. Them Barkley
Yeah, or
sold pretty good.
How many people bought Charles Barkley sneaker back in the
Nigga,
day?
them Barkley
Anybody?
sold. Them Barkley sold.
I had a
or
pair.
she could do a Steph Curry
I
level.
had a pair. I was the
She
only
could do
nigga in
Steph
my
Curry
class
level.
that had one though. I'm just
I
saying. I
do
had a
believe
pair.
that. I do believe that. You know,
She
shout out
could
to
do Steph
Charles
Curry
Barkley
level.
though. Shout out to Charles Barkley though. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Ewan had his own shoe. I
I
remember
had those
somebody.
too.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
had
I
them
remember
too.
one
You had them
person.
just
I
too.
remember I actually had a pair at my school. I remember one person with them. So no.
But anyway, I mean, she can do
She
Steph
can
Curry
pull off a
level.
Ken Griffey.
Y'all hold on one
She can pull
second.
off a Ken Griffey.
Shout out to Black Man being brutally honest. He said the big backs are watching the Roger Report live. So
Oh,
that's what they got to do with the conversation.
But I want to say,
Shots
Roger,
fired.
I think she can
Shots
have a.
fired.
I think she can have a Ken Griffey effect. I do think she can reach it up to a Ken Griffey type
I had
effect.
Griffies too. I had them
I
Griffies
mean,
too.
Griffey has some nice shoes now.
Yeah,
You know, they
they
classics,
still out.
man. Yeah, they
They
classics.
still out. Yeah, they still out. I
No,
like
no,
the
But
Griffies.
American Eagle got some good jeans, and they've
Yeah,
been
she
around for a
can.
Now,
while.
well, see, the G mark, and I wanted to bring this up because the G mark is a little bit different because Abercrombie and Finch not only did they painted this picture. Now they said nothing. Well, they did. They talked about jeans. They didn't say anything about race, but they made innuendos towards race. What's
Right.
gonna happen if a chick's wearing a halter top with a pair of jeans that say Abercrombie and Finch on it? She gonna get looked at funny. Now, depending on her circle, that could be problematic, right? Now
yeah.
you
She
gotta
can be looked at
take
skinny
that
and
into
sexy. I
account.
don't know about funny. She can be looked at if she can fit Abercrombie or American Eagle or
No, you
Aeropostale
missed my
jeans.
point.
I ain't missing your
You
point.
missed
I
my
get your
point.
point. They can be jealous of
Yes.
her. She the one in the group.
No, you
If they
missed my
mad,
point
they
completely.
jealous.
You missed my point completely. It has nothing to do with whether or not they mad or jealous. If you gonna buy those kind of jeans when they made those references and innuendos about race, what kind of person are you? Who's
But
gonna
you
want to
gotta.
be seen getting side-eyed like that in public? You know white people don't
But
like
the
getting
thing
called
about
racist.
but see, the thing about it is, we're in Trump's America. You got niggas living in white-only communities, and nobody gives a shit. In this climate right now,
I mean, they've always lived that way.
if in this climate right now, white people do feel emboldened to let their whiteness flag fly. So
That is true.
a white
That's true.
woman in Trump's America wearing American Eagle is just like is nothing. It's nothing.
That's true, but the majority of white women don't flex like that. I know we think we in Trump's America, but the second you call one of them racist in Trump's America, they flying off the handle.
Man, you calling
them Karens, they flying off the handle.
We just got a woman.
It is what it is, man. Come on.
We just saw last year a woman say a racial slur to a Latino, and then the GoFundMe hit 100K. What are we talking about?
Right, and we saw the same thing with a white woman doing it to a black kid, and she went almost $1 million.
Okay.
But
racism is getting cool. No, racism is getting cool. Kanye made racism cool.
You falling into the hold on, but y'all falling into the abyss now.
No,
when have they ever not supported their own?
Listen, you got what is it?
I'm trying to figure it out. Y'all making it seem. Wait, hold on. Y'all making
They've
it seem
never
like
really supported their own. They've always kind of battled amongst each other.
No, they always supported their own. Always.
I'm literally gonna say the reason I did the broadcast, because keep in mind, I don't even know if Sydney Sweeney is connected to black people. Yeah, I don't think she got no black man or whatever. Somebody said earlier that she was in a relationship and she broke up, but didn't say what the color of the person was. I'm just gonna assume it was a white guy because she's white.
Yeah, I think it was a white guy.
Yeah, it's not that I'm going off anything. It's just she white. I would assume she was in a relationship with a white guy. It just makes sense to me.
Listen, man, but I think she thought it was cool to rock the jeans and the way the ad roll. She was cool. She getting attention. That's all.
Yeah, and my whole point is, y'all, it's not even about what the company's gonna do and make money and all that. I'm saying the whole thing has been great for white people. White people, a white person did an ad. Some white people probably told her to do the ad. Some white people probably paid her to do the ad. White people started making comments about the ad. White people made so many comments about the ad, it went into the news cycle. White people started going after her for the eugenics undertone that they say is there. Other white people came out to defend the eugenics undertone and saying y'all just reading too much into it. I saw a ton of white self-love.
So,
That was
so
my
you know
point.
what? You know what's gonna. You know what though? Know how we know it's gonna be okay? Because the next Sydney Sweeney movie that's gonna be in, we'll see. Is it gonna get support? Are people gonna go watch it? Or are people gonna be like, nah, we don't support racism, right? We're gonna cancel her because this is cancel culture, right? And I guarantee you, she's not gonna get canceled because
She's
she
not.
has people. She
Yeah,
has
no,
PR
she's
teams.
not.
Hold on, she
She's not
has
getting
PR
canceled.
teams to say like, okay, this is a go, that's a no go. And in cancel culture, right? The worst thing you want to be labeled as is something that's going to get you canceled. So that's how I know that when she did this as a movie star, this shit is okay in America.
Well,
This shit is
let
okay.
me tell y'all this real quick. Let me tell y'all this real quick. I said, okay, let me see. So I just go to Google her real quick because I know she's gonna pop up right away as an actress, right?
Yep.
The photo that's up here right now look like it came from that. Look like it come from the ad. So I don't think people worried about it. This ad ain't got nothing to do with no movie, but that's the first photo that they got
Wow.
lined up.
Exactly. No, because
So yeah,
controversy sells, and controversy is cool, and it's made this controversy. It ain't really no true controversy. Has made like white
no,
people
it's
relevant and cool
controversy. These
again.
white folks is arguing about this. I don't know if it's touching black people like that, but these white folks is arguing. They
Yes,
show no arguing about it. You
they
know,
are.
that's why I mean it was so big that it came across my timeline. I don't really get this type of stuff across my timeline
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. My
It's a pretty
timeline ain't
big
got nothing
story.
to
You
do
know?
with
But
them
see,
folks. Yeah.
Roger, they not arguing. They arguing social political. They having a social political argument, which is driving the sales of those jeans. However, they're not even really truly. They're having like a borderline race argument, but they're talking about how this looks socially and politically, Roger. That's the reason why they
No, no.
really arguing about
I
this.
said that earlier. They winning on all fronts. The white people who say y'all saying something about eugenics is like, hey, y'all ain't got to put that in the public eye. The other white people is on we blonde haired and blue eyed and we good with it. So they winning. The is the store getting attention? Absolutely. Are they selling a bunch of jeans? Yes, sir. The stock even went up on it. So they're winning all the way around. My whole point is black people should remember to love themselves this way. I'm not too quick to tell black people to do what white people is doing, but this is a great example of self-love because even the people who's saying something about the eugenics part, they just saying, hey man, don't put us on Front Street about the
don't,
eugenics. Just keep it on the low, man. What you doing?
don't tell nobody.
Yeah,
You're supposed
you
to act
know?
like this don't
But
exist.
how is it
Yeah.
self love for white people if they arguing about their identity through gene sales? I don't know. I don't know. I think
No,
it's American Eagle love. I don't know if it's self love for white people. Honestly.
if they went out and bought the jeans because of the commercial, there's some self-love there. I literally went and got these because of this commercial. If I believe there's a gene undertone there where saying blonde hair and blue eyes is good, and then I literally went and took my money and gave it to the people selling the jeans, that's self-love at the end of the day. I want to be a part of this white idea. Now,
But
the
what-
movie I did,
but anybody can be a part of that idea. Anybody that can fit in those,
but of
we were
course,
talking about that. Anybody can
yeah,
fit into that idea.
but it's not about anybody can fit. They promoted a white love thing. We are blonde hair and blue eye, and we standing on it, and we gonna say it's good. We gonna say it's cool, and we got a good response. At the end of the day, they've basically getting all positive responses. Even the people who saying don't tell about the eugenics stuff, they're not being negative. They just saying don't say this in the ad. They not saying we should cancel her. They not saying don't make more ads for the jeans. They just saying don't put out the eugenics part. That's all they say. They
While taking
cool.
all that rage bait to the bank too.
Yeah, they have not said that this company
Exactly.
should. when other folks is involved, they ain't said nothing about this company should go out of business. This company should close down. This company should be ashamed of this. I ain't heard nothing
Nobody
like
said
that.
that.
I ain't heard nothing negative. I just heard take the eugenics part out the ad. We ain't got to tell folks that, but ain't nobody mad at them.
Exactly, like hide that part. So the argument really is, I need to hide that part and keep doing what you're doing. That's pretty much my argument.
That's what I'm saying. It's pretty much a love fest. And I'm just saying, with the position that black people have, what if we were known for publicly being that way? The white folks love themselves. So we talk about what works and what doesn't work. One of the reasons that certain things work with white folks is because their public position is we love ourselves. You know,
Well, their
and that's why we
argument
said
is,
when you talk about Shannon Sharp, because we just discussed him yesterday. He don't live in that same world. He live in a world where when he's in trouble, the companies wait to see what's gonna happen. Sydney Sweeney live in a world where when she quote unquote is in trouble, the company itself makes a statement and say, "Hey y'all, leave her alone." The ad was about the jeans that we sell. That's what it's about.
that's two
That's
different
some good
types of trouble.
filters.
That's two different types of trouble,
No,
Rogers.
no,
That type of allegation and those type of allegations in this
whoa, whoa,
America,
whoa,
it's
whoa,
gonna,
whoa.
that's two different
What
worlds.
Yeah,
allegations? Hold
it's
on.
not different. Yeah, because ain't nobody went
Yeah,
to jail about nothing.
yeah. Nothing was illegal.
Well, with the depiction of how they sold that, how she sold that relationship to society, and how they're selling these jeans to society, it's two different worlds, Roger. Two different worlds.
Shannon ain't did nothing illegal. Shannon
I know
ain't
he
did.
didn't, but
He ain't even. He ain't even got arrested.
he
And
didn't sell it
it
very
doesn't make a
well.
difference what's going on. We got a whole track record in this country that ain't no company ever came out on behalf of no black person to say y'all leave them alone, no matter how anything was ever taken. That ain't never happened once.
Because
Not
that's
that
a
I
real
know of.
bad look. Because of the whole look of it, Roger.
Well,
You
there's
know,
a
it was
look
a
to
bad look.
there's a look to this, and the company came out and said, "Hey, stop tripping, y'all. We trying to sell jeans." That's what the ad was about, and leave it at that. The company came out and said that they never. That's
They
not
didn't
something
even
that should happen, man.
apologize or nothing. I'm sorry you
Right?
feel. You know the normal apology. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we didn't mean to offend anybody. They didn't even say that. They just said leave her alone. It's about the jeans, and then they
Yeah,
cut the mic and walked off
yeah.
stage.
Go buy some more.
Honestly, there's more room to play with race in this country right now than to play with obscene sexual allegations and whatever stuff. This is more room to play with race in this country right now. It just is what it is. Hell, the president having a hard time about you know
Whoa, no.
allegations.
Hear
Right.
what
You
you're
know,
saying though.
it's
Hold
a
up
hard
there.
time to play with that right now, dog. Like it's a hard
I hear
like
you, but no, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. But who's always the offender in racist stuff? There's only one party that does that.
no, we do racist stuff too. Like we had
No,
like
we don't.
No,
Fubu was
No, we
no,
don't.
no.
racist.
Hold
Fubu,
on,
No,
yes,
hold
we
it
on.
don't.
was. Fubu was racist as
Hold
well.
on. No, we not going there. But the president did weigh in. The president said, "Is she a Republican?" That's what the president said. Is she a Republican? Well, if she's a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. That's what the president said. That comes straight
Listen,
from the president's desk, as they
listen.
say.
He from
Okay.
Queens like me. Sometimes I hate his guts, but sometimes, man, I can't lie. That's the Queens nigga stepping out of him every now and again. He get that Queens nigga coming out of him every now and again, just speaking the truth. Just is what it is, man. She's a
Yeah,
Republican. It's all gravy.
he said even as the president of the United States, and this is the thing that a lot of black men don't get. He still had a requirement for her. Oh, is she a Republican? Well, if she is a registered Republican, he made that very clear. Well, if she is a registered Republican, then I think the ad is fantastic. Which means what? If he come to find out she's not a registered Republican, he'll tell you a different opinion about that ad. Because he know he the president of the United States and his words have some weight. So everybody's cool with it. I just think it's just about, hey, y'all, stop throwing that eugenics part out there. We need to let them niggas stay asleep, if anything. But I'm just saying, as cool as we are as black people, as great as we are at services, as great as we are at coming up with products, what happens in the world where we actually love ourselves the way they love themselves in a public light? We go to the next level. We through the roof. But we got to learn to do that. And I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to batter nobody or anything like that. And I'm not trying to force no views out of people. But I am saying I do have a track record where I've done all these grand finales, these Ruthless Nice Guys. Okay. And even before I came with those concepts, I had other shows where I honor some black men and some black women. And I do notice that when I do those shows, I don't get the numbers ain't quite as big as the other ones are. I'll just say the numbers just ain't quite as big. But at the end of the day, because I know it's important, I keep doing it anyway. I ain't gonna never stop. It just is what it is. If God don't tell me to stop, I ain't stopping.
Roger, you're on the money with that because I never see Truth Teller at those shows.
Oh,
that's a lie.
It got real personal, real quick.
I always be at the shows. You a lie. You a lie. I was at Thingness show. What's his name? JJ Father's show. I was at Denzel's show. Got quite a few of them, sir. I wish you to take back that slander off of me, sir.
I was at the Denzel, the Kobe, the Bill Russell. I ain't seen you there.
I was at the Kobe arguing with you, so okay. And I don't mean the last Kobe argument. I mean the one before that.
Well, I'm just saying, y'all, I do those shows because I definitely understand the importance of it. And shout out to Floyd Thompson and Trail Bentley. They saying James Amos.
James Amos. That's correct. McDonald's.
Yeah. So I've used my platform to honor a lot of black men. I started throwing some women in there too, but I've used my platform to honor a lot of black men because I actually love myself. I actually love my people. And my viewpoint is we get to be black. Other people have to be what they are. That's my viewpoint of the world. If somebody's mad at me about that, I don't know what to tell you because that's my actual viewpoint. Being a white guy to me seems like something you have to do. Being a black man seems like something you get to do. That's just what it is for me. Now, if somebody else feels that way about their own people, I kind of understand it. Or if you see them the way I see them, you understand the importance of trying to tell people your group is just as cool as ours. I get that. Because if I wasn't me, I'd be out there trying to be like me too. It seems reasonable to me. Okay? And Sydney just came out there with, hey, I'm blonde hair, I'm blue-eyed, I like my jeans. Y'all do with what you will. But if she has to be a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman, why shouldn't she like it? I didn't feel that as an attack in any way. I can totally get where the people is coming from making the eugenics argument, but I understand that your genes are not as good as my genes, so you want to eliminate my genes so your genes can be at the top. That's what I see in those arguments, y'all. That's my perception. Okay. If I was white, I might be a white supremacist too. You know, because I'd probably be jealous of black people. And I'm just keeping it real. I'd probably be jealous. Because when you put black people with white people, black people seem to shine. If it's just them, black people seem to shine. Okay? And we seem to shine no matter what you do to us. I know we don't think about how annoying that may be for white people, y'all. But think about it, y'all. They've been in this country for generations. Black folks done been enslaved. And they can't even show that they better than the children of the slaves. These niggas are still better than us. We done did all kinds of stuff to them. We done attacked them. We done lynched them. We done literally killed them. We done redlined them. We done took all the good stuff for us and left them with the bad stuff. We put them in position where they can't even get decent school books to teach their children. And them niggas is right there. We can't make these niggas go away. You know, it's like playing a basketball game. You think you're supposed to win by 30, but that other team just stay with you no matter what. You just can't get rid of them. You know, every time you look up, they within two. That's got to be annoying. So white people got to remind other white folks that, hey, y'all, we cool too.
The problem is Problem with that, Roger, is a lot of their people, and that's where this gets messed up, right? A lot of their people see that black people continue to stick around, right? So they end up rooting for us, switching on their own team. And then we also got, of course we know we got the team switches too. We got the team switches as well, right? So it's one of the craziest things how that ends up playing out. Because you got people that you got black people that's gonna go buy them jeans, and then you got black people that's gonna be like, man, forget them jeans. And it's just one of those things, man. And we're gonna see how it actually end up playing out. I think it's like you said. I think it played out. It's playing out way better than that return to the land what American Eagle did is working out way better than that neighborhood they trying to be. If you would have compared it to, so I think their plan is working out better.
Well, I mean, they plan is working in a good way. They didn't technically insult anybody. From a technical standpoint, they didn't insult anybody. They just, hey man, we got some cool jeans. We all right. You know what I'm saying? We ain't nothing over here. We got something. It's just, we gonna remind white people that our jeans is pretty cool. Okay. And my thing is, I understand why they in that position that they have to remind themselves that, because when you compare them to us, it don't look so great, so I get it. If I was one of them, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Hey, we cool too, y'all. Okay, I know they did this and I know they did that, but we cool too. That's probably the approach I would take too, because I would be one of them. So I get it. At the end of the day, I understand why a white person would take on white supremacy. I definitely understand that. Okay.
A lot of white women are going to end up. They mad now, but a lot of white women are going to try to get themselves back together so they can get in them jeans. Because the white people that are disagreeing, they are overwhelmingly plus size white women. The real pushback is coming from the overwhelmingly plus size white women. And
well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that ain't true because when I started looking at people who's making them arguments, I definitely saw a few plus size white women in there. So I ain't gonna even front on that one. But hey, I do think, yeah, they mad because Sydney looked good. And they know Sydney is accepted as a good looking woman. It's just that simple at the end of the day. But you really can't
some of
accuse
them are
her
going
of
to get
being
right.
Well, I mean, it's that's a great thing to do. If you see her and you see all this attention she getting, and you a white woman, yeah, you should be inspired to drop a few pounds. That's a positive thing.
It's a positive thing.
But the thing is, again, like my thing is, it's to me, the major part is it's just an act of love all the way around. Even though there's some quote unquote misguided love and the people saying, just don't put the eugenics part out there to the public where people can kind of peep game, because that's where I believe the quote unquote woke people are coming from. Nobody seemed to have a big problem with the ad itself. It's just don't put out the eugenics part. You know what I'm saying? That one ain't cool. The rest of it, we good with it. Okay, so, and then if you had to grow up and actually be a white person, you got to remind yourself that you should love yourself. That makes sense to me. I think we take it for granted that we should love ourselves, maybe a little too much. Okay. Which is why I kind of do some of the stuff that we do. We shouldn't take the stuff for granted. Everybody should just understand, yeah, we cool like that and we got it like that. And it just is what it is. And just like I say, black folks got to accept their life ain't fair. Other people gonna have to accept it too. You just don't get to be us.
Well,
Now,
I think that black people start our clothing company with the thought process that American Eagle has kind of come to. Because when I look at FUBU, when I look at like Sean John, State Property, I look at all these different companies. None of these companies were made or even had to think of, oh, let's make clothing for white people. And hopefully, they need to, they're like, we're going to make clothing for the brothers. And if a couple of white people wear it, oh well. We come off with a. I think we come
Well,
off with a racial thought when we make our clothing. We
well,
don't even remotely consider others.
I wasn't trying. I'm not trying to limit to clothes. To me, it's just a love thing. But we are in a great position where we don't necessarily have to do that. If you make something for black people, what you've made is something cool. And what do any people want to do? They want to wear the cool thing. They want to buy the cool thing. They want to have access to the cool thing. It's cool because it's ours. So we don't have to make it for somebody else. We just make it. They gonna come anyway. I think they would just come more if we showed more self-love, you know what I'm saying, from a public standpoint, which is easier to do now. 'Cause I'm not saying people could easily do it back in the day. It's easier to do now because we do have things like social media available to us. And I actually understand that there's a certain responsibility I have as a content creator to make sure I remind black folks about black folks and their greatness. Now, if white people happen to see it too, great. I ain't mad at them. But I understand that this is a product of a responsibility if I want things to look the way I want them to look in the future. So my thing is I can't get mad at this commercial. It's just white people trying to be cool again. And they picked a good white woman to be the bearer of the message. She's a nice looking white woman who's attractive. She got that quote unquote girl next door look to her. I heard white people saying that yesterday. She got the girl next door vibe going on. She ain't been in no mess as far as I know. Like I said, it's not like I follow her. The only thing I can remember about her when the story came out was that she was in a movie that I did like as a lead character. I just saw the movie too. I'm gonna say what the movie was. Cause I just saw it when I pulled up her name. But that's what I remember her from, being a nice, good-looking actress that was able to be funny in a romantic comedy. The movie
You
was
know,
good.
you know what, Roger? Her downfall gonna be when white people find out she really a small hat. That's what's really but oh hell, that's gonna be not necessarily her downfall, but
Yeah,
that's
bro.
what's
I
gonna get
mean,
them. That's what's gonna get them.
I don't know about that one because I didn't know she was that, and I don't think they're gonna care. And she is in Hollywood, so them
I don't
people,
know, Roger, because white
them
people are
hold
having
on,
a
no,
real
no,
identity. They're having
them,
a real American identity problem. That's
them,
what they went with American Eagle.
bro. First of all, them as far as my understanding is, them folks run Hollywood, so I don't even see how that's an issue. And she's a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman.
Well, we're
She
gonna
she
see.
she the thing. See, I didn't even know about the count. Y'all just said that they the smallest group of white women when it comes. I didn't even know that. Didn't even
They
pay enough
are.
attention nor care
Mhm.
to do so. So she is basically what you said. Even amongst them, she kind of elite. So I
Yeah,
don't see where it's gonna come back to bite her at all. She
and you
got
know what?
money. You know what I'm saying? She in the movie industry. Y'all, the movie was called Anyone But You. She
Okay.
can act. She can be funny. And she look good. I just don't see where she gonna have a problem at all.
Well, she did do ice. She got her own ice cream out now. She got an ice cream. Got her own flavor of ice cream out for this summer. With who I
Well,
forgot the
I
name of that
mean,
company,
get your
but she
money
got
where you can.
yeah, she had her
Get your
ice
money
cream.
where you
She had
can.
some ice cream out. And check this right. She was at the range doing some shooting. I would not be surprised if she becomes like a spokeswoman for like some Smith, not a spokeswoman, but do some Smith and Wesson commercials. Do some NRA commercials. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I don't know if she's trying to do anything as far as a political standpoint. My thing is, I don't know about the lady like that. I don't know nothing about her personal life. I just saw her in a movie that I like, which was
Mhm.
already a good sign for me, and she's very attractive. At the end of the day, I don't see nobody kicking her out the bed, and that's just being real.
The
Okay.
reason why I say this, Roger, is because these are things I don't look the girl up. I just learned of the girl recently, and if you just do a quick look up of who she is, she has it on her videos and on her main play with the ice cream and the
Now,
jeans and
no,
the full
I ain't
Mustang and the
mad at her,
shooting and
but
stuff
but
like that. Yeah,
I don't care enough about her to research her. That's all I'm saying. I ain't mad at her for nothing.
you
but
researched the daggone movie,
no,
Roger. You should have.
I did. I no, I saw a movie. When I saw her face, I was like, "That's that girl from that movie." You see
Uh huh.
what I'm saying? That's all
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was. I
okay.
then
Okay.
saw the
Okay. Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that girl from that movie.
Well,
I researched the ad. and what was going on with the ad. I wasn't researching. Now
Mm-hmm.
she was being mentioned in some things because I was looking into what the controversy with the ad, but
Mm-hmm.
I ain't sweating her like that. Now, don't get me
Oh, if you
wrong.
do
If I came across,
that's a quick Google
hold
search
on, I'm
though.
gonna say this. Don't get me wrong. I just don't care to research. That's all. She's not important to me. But don't get it twisted. If I came across her in the street, I would shoot my shot. You see what I'm saying? But she's just a random white woman to me at the end of the day. Okay, she was
Yeah.
in a movie I like. That's all I knew her from. So I'm not saying she's bad, good, or whatever. I don't really know nothing about her from a personal life standpoint. She seemed like she okay. I haven't really watched too many interviews with her in there. I remember watching some, and then she was doing an interview, but I got up and left. So I can't make any claims about me knowing her as a person because I ain't really seen her in no interviews to even kind of see how she structures herself. I just thought she was a great choice for the ad. And obviously she was a great choice for the ad because
Mm-hmm.
she looks good. She's very attractive and she had the right body for the ad to cause this reaction. I think that's really what it was at the end of the day. And it's about white people putting out their best to present themselves to folks, which I
All I'm
think is
saying is
just a
that
smart and intelligent thing.
they're expanding her into different avenues of marketing. That's what I was pretty much saying with the ice cream and
That
the
could
and the
happen.
four. They're
You know,
already doing that. It's not a could. That's
no, well,
what they're
I'm just
doing.
saying I don't know about it, and I don't think it's that big a deal when in the
I'm
context
telling you,
of
they
this
are.
show. No, I'm saying I just don't think it's that big a deal in the context of this show because this show is specifically about the controversy over this particular ad, and I
Okay,
can't even say
there's
she's
more of them though.
no. I'm saying I can't even say she's a big star because I ain't seen her around in nothing. Okay,
She
I ain't
will
seen.
be. She will be.
I think this is definitely gonna help catapult her into other things, but I ain't seen her around, so I can't even now, matter of fact, as I'm looking at some of the movies, it say she was in Madam Web. I don't remember her from Madam Web, and I actually saw that movie. you know, and she seems to have a number of look like it's a number of things she got going on as far as movies and shows. But I do see a bunch of stuff I ain't never seen in here. I ain't never watched too, so I can't say that, which is kind of why I don't recognize her. I didn't even know enough to connect her name. She was just that movie. She was just that girl from that one movie I liked. Okay, that's all she was to me. But I'm not trying to say that to down her. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. But my main man Tunnel Runner then came up. So let me let Tunnel Runner get a word in because we almost done. So let's let him get a word in edgewise. Tunnel Runner Roy now. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Can you hear me clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to say, since I have my Latino Sydney Sweeney, uh, but I wanted to say, this our sisters have good genes. Our black sisters have better genes, but they're just not trained. They're just not trained to do what they're supposed to do. So by having better genes and not knowing what to do with those genes is like a star basketball player in high school that don't know how to play team ball. It's just a waste.
Hey, that's as real as it gets right there. That's as real as it get. You know, look, I put a statement in the chat, and I said we got good genes, but we also have great genes too. That's how I see black folks, and I think that is the majority of us. We got good genes, but we got great genes. Okay, um, Sydney sparked an outrage. I honestly really believe it's just because she's so beautiful, but she's so small. That's really what it come out to. The bigger women, like, Pastor, you said it yourself. You saw a bunch of fat women having a problem with the ad. I'm being 100% honest. When I look to see some of the folks who was making the arguments they were making, some of them have had an extra sandwich or two. I'm just I'm gonna say it like that. Some of them have had an extra sandwich or two, and that's cool. And that's cool. That's them at the end of the day. But I totally get why white people need to remind white people to like themselves because you live amongst blacks. I get it. Okay. I can't even be mad at you. If I was you, I'd probably be trying to remind other white people that we cool too. It ain't just them. We cool too. Some of us. Yeah, I know most of them cool, but some of us cool too. I totally get that argument in their position. But we are about to hit the 3-hour mark. So turn around. I'm gonna have to say, if you want to get another final statement in, it's the time to do so, because I'm gonna have to close it out.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say, if you look at the 100-yard dash, female and male, you'll see the top genes right there.
I see what you did right there. I see what you did.
Power,
Well, I'm gonna say,
strength, speed is all there. And I don't see some certain blue eyes and blonde hair when the finals come. But
well, I was
might be
trying to
one.
use. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I said it might be one or two, but usually it's 6 others that look just like me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say, y'all, real talk. The way I see it, y'all, Black folks needed a reminder that we not only can go out and buy some good genes, we actually come with great genes. And we just need to remember just how great our genes are. Real talk. So for me, that was the lesson I was trying to push. We need to remember just how great our genes are. And you've seen white people falling on top of each other to love themselves, which is one thing they did do right. Okay. We need to remember to do the same thing. That's real
I
talk.
agree. I agree.
Nobody had to break their morals for this one. Nobody had to go against their character or anything like that. They just embraced how they feel about themselves. And my thing is, I can't say there's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day, because they white. If I was white, I would have to do that too, because I got to look at these Black people over here. And that's just real talk. So shout out to Devin there, brother. I ain't gonna read that, but I see it. But y'all, it's been a great show. It's been wonderful. I hope y'all really got something out this. I know you did. I know you, because ain't nowhere in the world you intelligent as you are, you didn't. So it's been great. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. If you're new here, make sure you know I'll be back tomorrow 9 a.m. Chicago time with some more fire. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.